know what this
Oh, that's
is.
new. Uh-huh.
Did it actually count down
It
properly
just
this time?
stopped counting.
All right, I believe we're live. I'm waiting for us to pop up on these things. All right, good on YouTube. I think Facebook live now. All right, 3, 2, 1, fake clap. Welcome to the AfrOtaku Podcast, episode 55. I'm Mr. Good Guy, aka MGG, and I'm joined here by my co-hosts, who will introduce themselves starting right now.
Hey, it's player 5.
What's going on? It's Jugger.
What up? It's Deuce.
All right, let's get right into it. So, story time or AfrOtaku question for today is, what OG anime, right? Or, as a matter of fact, you kick it off, player 5. Good guy.
Okay, that makes sense. So, what I want to say OG goated anime that you hear people talk about all the time. This is the best. This is the greatest. Like some people try not to compare it. Which anime for you has just never been that great, right? Like it's one. It has to be one of those anime that like you don't really argue with people because you're not gonna win that fight. But when everybody start hyping it up, you just kind of like back off and go dissociate, do something else. I'll start this. I already know, but I hear people, and I have to accept it all the time that Cowboy Bebop is just like the GOAT, it's the greatest anime, uncomparable. Spike this, spike that. I ain't gonna lie, don't like it that much. And the crazy thing is, one of my favorite genres is like kind of like westerns and stuff like that. Don't like Cowboy Bebop like that.
I feel you.
And
I'm gonna go ahead and toss mine out there, and I think a specific fanboy community is gonna be really mad, but Fully Cooley, I just never got it. Motherfuckers have hyped that shit to me to the moon. Like, oh my god, you didn't watch Fully Cooley, you don't love Fully Cooley, and I've tried multiple times to watch the show. It's not a lot of episodes. I think it's like 7 episodes or something like that, but I don't get it. It's never been that for me.
no, I'm agreeing. That was low key about to be mine, but just to like I just looked at it too, and I was like, oh, perfect. And you said it. But anyways, no, the one thing I will piggyback on is that like I get it's actually low key kind of the same reason why I feel like maybe Player 5 ain't about Cowboy Bebop. But as far as like more so with Fooly Cooley, just talking about the aspects as far as like adolescence, growing up, etc., etc. Those are still like very, very what would you call them? Like low key topics in the anime. And as far as like our generation, and we were like literally kids watching like both of these shows, it's like it's really hard to appreciate all it really is because you just simply don't get it. And even with some more time, it's still super low key that you got to look into almost every single detail to even possibly get. So it's just not something that's just going to hit everyone right off the bat. And to be honest, I'm a little surprised too as far as to how popular it is, considering again how low key it is also. But you know what? Whatever. For some people, that's for some people. But to shoot out, I guess maybe another one. Um, actually, yep, Lupin the Third. I'm gonna throw out Lupin the Third simply because I don't know. Like I think it's more so that there's too many episodes because there's just so many seasons, so many chapters, and I feel like you can get too much of just the whole simple thieving, misdirection, misconception kind of concept for an anime. And I just feel like maybe a season 1, maybe a season 2, but I mean, we're talking about literally came out before we were born, and they're still making new webs. And I just feel like that's a little too much.
Pause and interject and say, usually
Disrespectful
opinions out here.
Hey.
I see. And MKG and Jugga just came today. They're like, man, we really targeted them. Like, okay,
So I don't see it.
Look,
I'm sorry.
to me, the way you introed that, like the resonation of how you like, I can't argue with niggas about its greatness. I just am quiet when people talk about it. That's exactly how I feel about Fooly Cooley. Like, it's literally that. I'm not gonna hate on you for loving it. I just never got what it gave to everybody else.
Exactly.
And before we get into that, because you it's almost like you read the comment section. Nicholas popped up in the comments and said he was waiting on player 5 to say something foolish. That's what he said.
I know he was about to come for,
Called you out, bro.
Takamichi and them.
That's crazy.
They be hating, man. I'm telling you.
That's fun.
But yeah, Deuce, you the last one. What's yours?
Yeah, mine was Inuyasha. That shit was just trash. It was boring as fuck.
Damn, come on. Bogota Chihuahua didn't hit you at 4 a.m. in the morning?
Even as a kid, I watched. I had to force myself to finish it because I was like, oh, maybe it gets better. Maybe it gets better. And then the ending, like, it didn't even end. So
You had that.
Yeah, that ending was bullshit.
Oh, well, that's true.
But it was just boring. Like, that's all hype. There's no reason. If you watch it today, you would probably think the same thing. Guaranteed.
Well, I mean yeah. I mean, like, I'm not gonna fight you on that, but I mean, as a kid, it was like one of the, like OG, at least in our heads, almost a shonen
Exactly.
anime,
No, that's
right?
all it is. It's just an OG. It's an old ass anime. That
The only thing I agree with you for most of that. The only part that I give Inuyasha some save for was the part where they resurrected those like old humans. I think that was the only part I was like kind of like interested in. I forgot what the name of the group was, but there was these like old human niggas that died a while ago. They got resurrected and they all had like special type of weapons and shit. I fucked with that arc, but everything else pretty much felt like Inuyasha either saying Iron Reaver Soul Stealer a bunch of fucking times or saying whatever the fucking sword move was that he spammed for Windscar all over and over again. And then Moroku taking in some poison bugs. It felt like the Iron Man episodes. Like, if you ever watch like old school Iron Man, I felt like every other episode was like, oh shit, my battery's dying, and that was like the chaos of the show. It was like that for Moroku with poison bugs. It was like every time he did Wind Tunnel, there was always a poison bug that got sucked in, and then we had to deal with that for like half the episode. I'm like, bro, we don't have a counter for this yet? It happened like 10 times now, but boy.
Yeah. Man, I had another one that was in my head. I ain't got it right now, though.
Oh, okay. I was waiting for it to come out.
Yeah, it's right there, but I was thinking about y'all stuff. I forgot. But it's right here. It's right here, though.
All right. When they come to you, feel free to interrupt and let us know. Is that it, though, on the story time? All right. On the decent news. Do you want to kick it off with Mortal Kombat and WWE stuff?
Oh, yeah. Just a couple things. Was just, Mortal Kombat was well liked, apparently, as far as the most recent movie that was released last year in 2021. So much so that they finally approved, well, not even finally, it's actually pretty quick. They approved Mortal Kombat 2. That's pretty much all the details that we really have as of now, except for, I'm not sure if a lot of people know him, but let's see, it'll be written by Jeremy Slater, that's his name, who took on the Marvel's Moon Knight series that's going to be released a little bit later this year also. So they don't have a release date as of yet, but I'm assuming if not next year, then likely early 2024, something like that. But yeah, get ready for a second one. So if the second one comes out and do good, maybe they really are trying to kick off the whole Mortal Kombat series straight up again to keep it going. We'll see.
The only commentary I'll add on that is just I am happy to see that HBO Max has allowed things to get a second chance. I don't think that this movie deserves to say. I still haven't watched it, so I don't know. I don't know if this movie necessarily deserves a second chance, but I do like the fact that like HBO Max and like this bringing movies straight to streaming gives them a different way of being seen than they would if they were in the box office. Like, meaning they went straight to theaters and people had to sit there and watch them, and then basically if it flopped in theaters, you're never getting more of that. So Oh, and Nick just asked, "Are we actually excited for Moon Knight?" I'm open to what it's gonna be. I wouldn't say I'm at the edge of my seat for it, but I'm
Yeah,
definitely gonna watch it when it comes out. If I
I
put it that
gotta
way.
say the same. Like I'm scratching, like yo, you know what I'm saying? Like if on the premiere, like okay, you
Right.
know,
I'm
I'll
okay.
catch it. That's how I feel. Like, I'll see it at some point, but I'm
Right.
not hyped. I mean, but it could be fire. You know, I'm glad that they batting about 500 for like stuff that I have no idea about, making it kind of lit. But Eternal,
Right. And I actually watched it finally. Yeah, that was three.
how 3 hours go?
Oh, it was tough. It was really 3 days because I kept falling asleep at each form. So I would get through one part, fall asleep, get through another part, fall asleep, get through another part, fall asleep. My biggest disappointment with Eternals is like I never seen Immortals have a life that felt so short. I'm like, bro, y'all been around since like Babylonian times, and it's like they just skipped over the amount of experiences and life-changing events that probably happened to them. Like, why is this? Like the girl that was in love with Jon Snow, for example. I'm like, why are you so comfortable being in love? At this point, for how many years you've lived, you have to have a different perspective on love than like the average person of where I'm just gonna date people. Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
I think as an immortal for that long, I would have
I
a
agree
different
with you.
perspective.
Feel as if it's like, so y'all want us to believe that for 7,000 years these niggas had no character development. Like
Right.
that's what you're implying here is that y'all don't need that. These niggas been the same for
Right.
7,000 years, which
Well,
makes them kind of fucking stupid at a point.
Exactly.
they get character development every 500 years. So like they were just in between that 500 years.
Dumb.
Like,
Uh.
Growth rate all kind of F's up, man.
Yeah. But yeah, no, to the Mortal Kombat shit, I don't think it deserves a 2. But I'm liking what HBO Max is allowing movies to do, which is giving me access to them so I don't have to pay for them and sit through the shit. And then because it's like lower risk and lower budget, I have the chance to get more of the stuff that I want without, having to go to movies to see it. It's the new straight to DVD.
So I feel kind of the other way about HBO. And I was gonna bring this up to you because clearly you're more invested than they cite than me. But I feel like they dying. You know,
Really?
I feel like this putting movies on there is like they last gasp. Fuck with us, like it's like they've been putting out flops to mid. You know, for the
Yeah, I
past
don't know
couple
who's
years. They shit costs a lot.
I don't know who's been
they
pulling.
just dropped their price though.
Yeah. I don't know who's been. I guess I don't know what their content has done as far as increasing subscriber numbers, but I will say that the content that they have is not bad. Like people have been saying good things about Peacemaker. Like I said, I like Young Justice and all the DC shows that are there. They do have like a sleeper non like DC movie or TV show that comes out that people like. Motherfuckers really love Euphoria. Motherfuckers really love Insecure. And people really love Curb Your Enthusiasm. I like Curb Your Enthusiasm too. So I would say those three right there are pulling people in, at least from the non like DC perspective. And it seems like they're trying to get into this whole like nerd space and haven't fully figured it out yet. And they have the occasional good show there. But I would not say compared to all the streaming services I do have and watch, Disney at this point, because nothing else has come out, has like they're on break mode right now. To me, I don't know. Unless you really like Boba Fett, I haven't heard. I've heard mum's the word from the Disney Plus fan base. Netflix has not been putting great shit out either, and Hulu is just TV on streaming service. So I've never heard a single person besides Handmaiden Tale talk about a Hulu TV show.
Can I take this moment real quick?
Here we
Sorry,
go.
I'm about to waste everybody's time for some unpaid advertisement.
Hit Monkey.
Elementary is
Oh, no, I fuck with that show. That's good.
legit
Yeah,
the
bro.
best like funny example. Like obviously some things are exaggerated, but truly not that much. Like
It's a line.
it's very aligned with what it's like to be in a public school, bro. Watch
Okay,
that
I did
shit.
not know that.
It's actually super accurate. Like obviously there are some parts that they go a little comedic for, but I would say
Right.
baseline, you can expect all that shit, bro.
Damn. Okay. I fucks
That's
with
pretty
that.
surprising.
Like
I
like
mean, I've
like
seen
walking in,
commercials.
opening up a place and being like, "Oh, this a health hazard in this motherfucker," and then people will be like, "Okay,
All right.
nigga, don't touch it,
Damn.
you'll be fine,
All
man.
right.
I swear."
Oh, Nick said they got the Boondocks on there, and Martin. They'll never die in the black community. For HBO
Shit, I don't
Max.
know, no black niggas paying for it, so it's over with.
Damn.
Ooh.
Damn. But no, I will
You
add
always
though.
blame him.
Also, Hit Monkey on Hulu is decent. That's
I
another
see
free
it too.
advertisement for them.
Not that great to me. Does it get better or like what's the
I
deal?
thought it was decent. So like, it depends, right? Because I know you're like not a fan of like gory action type stuff, right?
Yeah.
So it's more or less that. Like, it's a gory action comedy.
Mhm.
So the thing that I like though is they did season some other. The comedic aspect was pretty funny. I finished it in a day, like during Thanksgiving. So it's a pretty light watch, and you could watch it in the background. So it's a great background. I say if you're like fucking around doing some shit and you're just looking for background noise, put Hit Monkey on. You probably not hate the show. They have some decent moments in there. But yeah, that's all. Sorry, we just went in this whole tangent about Mortal Kombat. But anybody else have any other comments on the Mortal Kombat shit?
I agree. I mean, I'm happy niggas are getting second chances. I'm just like being an old nigga by saying back in my day, you got canceled. To
You
the
only got
bloody
one.
you. I'm like, if this the case, bro, let us get some good shit back. Bring heroes back or something. Like, all these shows is getting
No, they
second
did.
chances and nobody caught heroes. Come on.
I mean, just give it time though, because I mean, it sounds like just about well, I'm not gonna say everybody, but hey, I mean, people are just coming out the woodworks with these sequels to everything now these days. If you can get enough people for a backing for even a petition, F around, you can make it happen. I mean,
Hey,
that's
look,
pretty much the
that's it.
trend that we're seeing now. You get
So
enough
they're
of
putting a Mortal
base.
Kombat TV show out.
What?
Huh? Who said that?
Oh, okay.
No, no,
yeah,
no, no,
that's
no.
what I
We're
thought.
talking about we're talking about a sequel to the movie that was released last
Yeah,
year. Yeah. But I'm just saying in general, I mean like what we're just seeing just as a community is that you get enough of a base and like put it out there on social media for like a sequel to just about anything, you get a big enough wave, you can make it happen. So that's around. You never know. But anyways, to move on just to the second thing as far as decent news goes, I just wanted to highlight again as far as to just cosplaying in general that is just like continuously blowing up. And in the WWE Royal Rumble that happened a few days ago, two wrestlers, Sasha Banks and Zelina Vega, cosplayed as Sailor Moon and also Madaru Uchiha, which I thought was interesting to say the least that they would pop out with that. But point just in general is that I mean cosplaying, anime in general. I mean it's just nice to just see it just continuously blowing up and just being seen low key everywhere, even in low key hits. But it's just starting to blow up. Period. So it was nice. It was good to see.
No, I agree with that. I think I'll add to that too, and that like it's smart marketing from WWE. They probably was testing it out to see how this works. But honestly, if I think about when I was like heavy into wrestling, I was also pretty decently heavy into anime. So if that stays true to the younger generations, there's probably like good cross pollination there, and like a way to reach their audience and connect with it a little bit more. I don't know if the WWE is still as popular as it was when I was a kid, but it's hard to tell. See, there you go. Like, it's hard to tell because now I'm out of it. Right. Like, now I'm out of it, so I'm just like, oh, I can't gauge the popularity anymore. I don't know, but, like, I know when I was 7, that shit was dope as fuck. So
I mean, it's pretty much just to go, like, just to reinforce what you just said. I mean, like, that correlation, I think, is still there in these generations. I even see, you know, like wrestle posts and, like, mentions are, like, certain wrestling and, like, the current events going on in the wrestle world on, like, anime chats and communities like that. So, but them trying to, like, bridge the gap directly via the WWE with cosplaying or etc. I mean, like you said, it's just a good idea in marketing, too. So, but yeah.
anything else to add? not, Player 5, you want to do your 2?
You saying anything about Royal Rumble?
Yeah, in general, about them cosplaying as anime characters, and then if no one has anything to add, we could just move on to your 2 topics.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm not surprised. Like, I'm actually with y'all thinking that it probably should have happened sooner, but
I don't keep
people
up.
wrestling like
From my
experience with the kids, I can say that I feel like it's more
Niggas still rocking
popular
with
than it was back when I thought it was gonna die and go at a.
That's what I thought too.
But like, I think that shit is stronger now.
Wow. That's good to hear, I guess. Like, niggas still, it clearly the model works.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Be ridiculous. That's all. Basically, that's all people start doing on TikTok and social media is become wrestlers in real life.
Oh,
them pranks.
Oh yeah.
That's why they became famous. I
Oh,
like, bro,
yeah.
some of the shit I seen y'all doing, I'm like, they was doing that back in the 90s with wrestling.
Mhm.
Pull up on them at the
100%.
hospital. But moving forward, so usually Gramps will talk about tech here, but I wanted to talk about the Google Pixel 6 because it's been some time. Now this is what I appreciate. My note did not give out on me. For all my faithful Galaxy users, it did not give out on me. I was just like, it's about time for an upgrade. You feel me? And so I definitely wasn't going with iPhone. Like, that's goofy. But so I was like, so what else can I do? Either I could get another Galaxy, but then I saw Google had their Pixel. I was like, I'm gonna fuck with it. I'm gonna try it. And so far I've been using it, and it's kind of fire. I'm not gonna lie. I will say that Android was better than Apple, except had the very like interfacing technology. Like you Apple, you all your shit Apple. And then the second thing they had was probably the better camera. The Pixel eating with the camera is over with, bro.
We caught up.
So like those commercials were real. Like I mean, I saw that ish and low key.
I'd be taking pictures of shit in the dark, nigga. In the dark. I'm like, bro. I see it, bro. Like, when have you ever had a camera that's like, yo, this for real better than how I saw? Never. They doing stuff different, bro. It's built different. I'm telling you, that camera is something serious. Like, it can be used to take like long exposures and take like astronomical pictures of stars and shit. This camera built different.
Damn.
Hey.
And what about
Hey,
what was
good
that
guy.
feature that I liked? The like the automatic removal of like an item or like a person.
Oh yeah,
You
it's called the
tried
Magic
that?
Eraser. You can just like take a picture. Let's say I took a picture of this, and I could just like outline like, oh, I want this window gone, and then it'll like blur.
And it
out.
still looks clean as far as
And
like the
it's
background of it.
The smaller the
That's
thing
dope.
is, the better. I tried to do it with a picture of somebody. It was not that clean with like a whole person right next to you. So, like background stuff is pretty solid.
That's decent.
Okay.
Yeah.
With the Google part, it caught up to Apple and like the interconnectivity because everything Google. You know what I'm saying? It basically every experience I have with every Google app is better on the Google phone. It's like built into the phone. I'm like, bro, this is just a better. And 99% of the shit I use is Google or Google adjacent. And then, like I said, then the camera. Like at this point, bro, I really feel like I got the baby, the Android. Bro, two more generations, it's over with. Then you don't have
Hey,
to-
Nick said stop hyping these basic ass features. That's what he said.
Let me say this. I'm gonna say this right here, bro. I'm gonna say this right here. I no longer accept any iPhone nigga telling me not to type basic features because we had like the swipe to text for a decade. A full decade. These niggas get it. It was like, yo, look what we can do. Like, get out of
Nobody
here.
said that, bro. Nobody said that.
Yeah, you know your people did. Come on, stop it. You know your people was hyping that. You
No,
know,
like,
iPhone.
y'all don't know real iPhone niggas. Y'all listen to the niggas online.
Y'all stayed hyping the AirPods like we didn't have Bluetooth headsets for years. Like y'all stayed hyped to this day. Y'all still hyping these AirPods.
You're not listening. Listen. It's not the fact that it's a Bluetooth headphone that makes it amazing. It's what he said about the interconnectivity of all Apple devices. You got an iPad, you got an iPhone, a MacBook. That shit is perfection, nigga. Perfection. Samsung ain't got
I
that.
don't get what you mean. You mean you could use your Bluetooth headset with all of those devices?
No,
Like, it seemed
if I'm on the phone, if I'm watching a video on my iPad, someone calls me, it switches over, pauses the whatever I'm watching on my iPad, switches over to the phone easily. I have the phone, switches back to the iPad. I do the same thing on my MacBook. It's the interconnectivity, nigga. It's not
that's
just
hard,
headphones. No. Y'all niggas
Okay.
know what
Apple,
that
but
like.
that's hard.
I mean, I have a wife who has an iPhone. It's okay.
First of all,
I like
70% of Americans got iPhones, bro.
right. Like yeah,
Yeah.
I'm saying
Yeah.
niggas don't even pay attention to the updates, bro. Like niggas don't even want to update their phones.
Because they might shut your
That's facts. iPhone
Like, that's
people, they
fucked
don't
up.
be into like y'all be looking at these like specifications and some goofy shit. Nobody looks at that stuff. Nobody looks at the process, nigga. Nobody cares about some shit. Our phones can FaceTime. We got iMessage. We can use our AirPods, nigga. That's all we need.
I feel like, don't y'all know how Kevin Samuels be out there like talking to people users on and like you can't make this shit up.
yes. Listen, my brother.
You don't care about this.
High value men
I bet
High
you
value
use
men.
an iPhone too, though.
have iPhones.
This is the cheapest phone out there. The cheapest like big end phone. The Google Pixel cheaper than all of them, and I'm telling you, these perks that come with is crazy.
Hey,
Only
I'm
reason
gonna
you
fuck
stick with Apple right now is because your whole life is dependent
Is
on
there-
Apple, and that's like being in a fucking
No, bro,
abusive
bro.
relationship,
Like,
bro.
y'all are too into the phones. People don't care that much. Like, really?
I don't disagree with what you're saying, and I don't think that's what our argument is. All we're saying is that niggas be hyping up dumb shit, and I think that's okay. Ain't that fair?
No, niggas don't hype it up. Niggas shit on Android. They don't hype up iPhone. They just shit on Android, which is
No, bro. I've seen a lot of niggas hyping up iPhone.
because they should shit on Android. Android is trash. Now Pixel is different because Google makes the Pixel, so I think that's a different breed completely. But like
Bro.
Samsung trash, LG trash.
Yeah.
Pixel though, Pixel is different. They built that for the Pixel, you know. Pixel is the best Android by far.
I think it's the
Am I wrong?
best
Says
Android.
a person who's never left iPhone ever.
I
Bro,
had
if
an
you
Android
switch
for
to a
most of my life, man.
Samsung, you would never go
Did you have a
back.
Pixel?
I had a Pixel. I had an Android for most of my life. What do you mean? I still have an Android.
All right, here we go. Anyways, I just want to read some of the comments. So Dick said he's Samsung Android gang, and then he said they got 4 cameras on the phone now that can take pictures of solar flares, and you hyping up the night mode and magic erasers. I couldn't let that slide. and then it's all about casuals, and most Antonio says this. It's all about the casuals, and most casuals have iPhones,
Yes,
which is
sir.
fair.
Bro,
I don't disagree with that.
I will.
Is that
I used to be a Samsung nigga. I can say that sure, Samsung absolutely probably got better, like high end specs. It's just it costs more. It's a bigger company. But and then this is where I shift to the same thought process as
bigger than Google.
Deuce is that I don't get no fuck what that camera can do because I ain't about to do that shit. But this Google phone connect to all my Google shit and make life very, 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 very like convenient.
That's why I said like I can understand a Pixel. I can understand like niggas hyping up a Pixel because it just makes sense to me. But why need to take a picture of a solar flare, nigga? What the fuck? Like,
If
You into that shit, bro?
You the 1% of the niggas that do that. Okay, cool. Somebody gotta do
I don't
it,
know about that, bro. When
I
the
wouldn't
solar
say-
lunar eclipse be happening, that's on the news. People be outside with the shades. I mean,
I mean, the more you can pare down like expensive ass technology into like your phone, I still think that that's something to highlight,
absolutely.
even though not everyone is going to use it. That's all I'll say. Speaking of new phones, though, I did get a new phone, but I still stuck with the OnePlus, so I got the OnePlus 9. But okay, I got the OnePlus 9, and I enjoy my phone. Thank you. You can go to your next topic now. Player
You ain't gonna tell us nothing about it?
What is there to tell? It gives me what I had before in a better phone. That's all I needed.
Okay, fair.
Taking pictures in the dark though.
I mean, I don't know if it can. It probably can. I just don't care that much.
I'm talking. I could make some flicks. You feel me with this motherfucker?
This actual phone is supposed to be their big camera collab actually. So they did like I guess Hasselblad is some like super, I don't know, artsy type of camera company. I don't know if it can do all the shit the Pixel's doing, but it is supposed to be like a pretty beefed up camera. I just don't care because I don't think pictures aren't important, but to me.
Bro, I don't mind representing like the whole dinosaur era, but not to lie, I'm still rocking the S7 over here.
Hey, sometimes you gotta get it how you live.
That's all respect. Cause
I don't know. I mean, it's
you
just
should call and text me. That's all you need.
That's how I feel. Like when it comes to phones, like I like the way this world is going. Of like our phones are doing more, but to me, I have like an upper limit, and I'm in tech. Like I have an upper limit of what I give a shit about. Same thing with cars. Like y'all kids keep making these cars as cool as you want. There's gonna be a point where I'm like, oh, my shit got Bluetooth. That's all I need. I really don't need whatever else you're trying to give me.
My shit's
I
feel like phone cameras are as good as I need to ever get them. Like I'm not a photographer, so like if they say this as good as they are now, I'll be straight. I don't need a better camera. I'm like,
yeah.
I mean, the camera's just because of social media, though, with all the everyone being a content.
And that's the only reason why I care about it. Is like
DMs.
when I was recording TikToks and shit, I was like, okay, well, I want my video to be better because apparently Android phones are shitty video on TikTok. But there's a whole nother reason for that. So,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Well, that's
Pokemon.
it for the phone news. Moving forward, Pokemon Arceus Legends Arceus came out. I copped it. Been playing it. Maybe got like 2-3 hours into the game. I mean, my thoughts on it are like, it's fun. It's fun. Like, if you enjoy games like Pokemon Snap, enjoy it. Like, it's Pokemon, but it's really different. If you really enjoy the stereotypical Pokemon game, you won't like it. But if it's like kind of like a partial open world, honestly, it's no more open than a regular Pokemon game. But the issue is that the camera is free, so you can kind of move around. Even during battles, you can move around and run around with your character. And yeah, you go around sneaking around trying to catch a bunch of Pokemon in the past. Fill out these old ass books. Like for example, let's say I catch a Pikachu. Sure, my Pokédex will say I've seen that, but in order to get like my Pokédex completed, I gotta catch like a bunch of Pikachus, some big ones, some small ones. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh, right. Because you're
really
literally
gotta, like,
making the first Pokedex, right?
you
Yeah.
gotta really get in that motherfucker. And a lot of these Pokemon bitch made, you feel me? Excuse my language, but they really running. Like, man, I was so pissed. I tried to catch this Eevee, and he got out of there, dipped on me.
he looked at you and dipped.
Dipped off. Oh my God.
So there's no like battling in this, right? It's just like
No, it's
catching
battling.
Pokemon.
So
Is it
when you
gyms?
run
Do you have
into a
gyms and shit?
Pokemon, options you can sneak ball that just try and catch it, and obviously the lower level the Pokemon is, the easier it is to do. Or you can have your Pokemon ready and you throw that Pokeball at it, and then that initiate a fight. But only you can initiate the fight. If you don't pull out your Pokemon, these other Pokemon just beat you to death. You feel me?
Damn.
Pull your Pokemon. Feel me? So that's kind of how the game go. Every now and again, there are like trainer battles, but nowhere near as much as Pokemon. It's really just like rare. Like, oh, I've been playing this game for like 3 hours. Does dude want to battle me? Sure. Instead of being like in the normal Pokemon game, like every 3 seconds, somebody trying to battle you. It's really the environment you're dealing with.
But yeah, so it's not like gyms and badges and Pokemon League and that shit don't exist.
Nope. You gain like your ability to catch and tame higher level Pokemon by completing more of your Pokédex. So it's really all about catching the Pokemon. Then they got like these trials where you can battle like tough gym leader type niggas, but ain't no Elite Four or nothing like that. They got like random wild, super strong Pokemon. It's kind of like if you played the newer Pokemon in the Wild Zone. It's kind of like a full game of being in the Wild Zone and Pokemon Sword and Shield.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was watching. I don't know much about it, but I saw my buddy drop some gameplay for like a few minutes or so, and like he was going in as far as to all the side missions that you were kind of talking about earlier with the Pokemon that pretty much more or less being the gist. Because he Pokemon, one thing that I like is stuck in my head, but the training Pokemon isn't even a huge deal because what happened? It was like every battle, all of your Pokemon gain XP, right? And I was like, that was like wild to me. I was like, snap! So you can really be training your entire squad with just one Pokemon, with not even using XP share or nothing like that. So I was like, yeah, this game is completely different. Like, this is not Pokemon that I know.
I would say, look, if you've been out of Pokemon for a while, and you like, hey, maybe I want to get back in. Feel like the game has changed a lot. I say pick this one up because it's not like super battle intensive. It's almost like a completely different Pokemon game. So you wouldn't have to worry about any of the previous stuff. You'd be learning new with everybody.
True.
Gotcha.
So
That's fair. Because I have been out of the game for a long time, since Sapphire and Ruby. So I was like considering it. And I was like, maybe. But it sounded like it wasn't like what I want out of a Pokemon game. So that's why I was like, maybe I won't get it. Huh?
What do you want out of a Pokemon game?
What I got out of Sapphire and Ruby, like running around, catching some Pokemon, getting them niggas stronger, and then fighting some legendaries. Like,
Okay.
that's what I understand the system to be. But it didn't sound like
care about like the gym battles.
not necessarily. I mean, they're like a fun aspect to it, but I wouldn't say like if I played a Pokemon game and they weren't there, I wouldn't be like, God damn it, they got rid of the gym battles. Like, no, it was more about the exploration, building my team, and then like catching them legendaries. Those were like really the three
So then I feel like
interesting aspects.
like this game because that's all you do. You run around,
Huh?
catch dope Pokemon, and you can fight. Have to not
Right.
feel like battling a bunch of loose Pidgeys. Just throw
Yeah.
the ball.
I mean, it sounds like it.
Brick wall, you can't just throw a ball. You gotta box it if it's super slow.
Right. It sounds like it gives me a lot of room to grind, which is what I like from RPGs. So I think I would have fun with, like, what I think what you were talking about, the whole catching Pokemon's multiple time thing would bother most people because that's very grindy. Like, to me, I would actually like enjoy that because it's RPG elements. But cool. All right, time to get some people mad. Spider-Man: No Way Home. So that movie dropped. That movie dropped. And I watched it. Here's what I'll start off by saying: it is not bad. I think it's a good movie. I think if I'm giving it my rating with my bad included, it's probably like a 7 or 8 out of 10. If I found a way to forgive the bad, I'd probably go like a high 8 or like an early 9. But I couldn't give it 10 out of 10. I do think that the audience overhyped it a bit because I felt like when I was watching the movie, most of the hype moments were member berry moments and not necessarily like the actual story. So it was just like, oh, you remember this nigga. Yay. Like, that's when I heard shit pop off. But to me, the real disappointment of this film, especially having watched Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse before, was the premise. I think the premise was like absolutely horrible. I don't feel like Doctor Strange would do what he did. Not knowing Doctor Strange is a true whatever. But I get that the movie Doctor Strange is a little bit more lighthearted than maybe the comics may be or whatever. But I honestly felt like what Peter went and asked him to do seemed odd for him to go ahead and do. And then all of the choices Peter made after that just really bothered me more than anything. Even though I got like it is Spider-Man, so I was like, yeah, this is some shit that Spider-Man would do. I was still kind of like, and I don't feel like the ending really resolved it. I feel like it kind of gave him a cop out. I felt like it would have been better if everyone remembered that he did that shit, because he did do that shit.
Yeah.
Oh, are you done? No.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good for now.
Yeah, I mean, Player 5 is the comic guy, so he can obviously talk about it. But from my YouTube video watching tutorials, they say that's kind of how Doctor Strange is, because he's like cocky and he think he could do anything. So he was like, oh, that ain't shit for me. I can make all these niggas forget, and so he just did it because he was egotistical ass nigga. But I agree with most of your points though. That's why I didn't say it was like the best comic book movie ever. I didn't think that, but yeah, I agree with most of those points. So,
I could give it some save for that. The other aspect with the nostalgia part too is just like I felt like, so I'm a guy who really likes crossovers. Like if you caught me when I was a kid watching Power Rangers, my favorite episodes of every Power Rangers was the episodes when the old niggas came back to fight with the new niggas. So like I really like that shit. So when I think of all of the Spider-Man related content that I've watched with crossovers, three things come to mind, right? This movie, the 90s TV show, when all of the like Spider-Man came together for the Clone Wars type shit, which I thought was dope, and then Spider-Man Into the Verse. And if I compare it to those three, I go like from a story standpoint, this wasn't as good. Why it was good to me was because I had a relationship with the other two Spider-Man being brought in. I feel like if I was to show my kid, for example, all three of those events, they could fuck with those first two, but they would have no context for that last one. They would just be like, okay, some more Spider-Man came up. And I would be like, yeah.
As like a standalone, you're saying without no prior history of these.
Right. Without no prior, I don't know how you resonate with that movie the way I did without knowing those other two guys. You know what I mean? And the movies that they came from aren't something I'm really gonna go like, oh, you have to watch these two movies. Maybe Tobey Maguire ones, but like Andrew Garfield, like, nah, come on. I'm not gonna force my kid to watch that just so they get the context in this movie. But that's where I'm at. Go ahead. I know it's been building, but you've been very quiet, so I know this nigga got something to drill into.
It's your opinion. It is.
I felt like
to the topic about like Doctor Strange, his reasoning for doing it. I think like obviously Deuce pointed out that he is an extreme, and I feel
like sure that's the comic book validation. When these movies just use comic book.
My argument is always that the comic books were a failing business. We shouldn't copy them. But
Damn.
if we look at this, all that shit away, you are a powerful man and a child, a sick boy, come up to from being in social media. He gets fucked out of college. And you're like, bro, it would just be an inconvenience to me. Like, I felt personally a reasonable reason to be like, yeah, all right, yeah, I'll fuck with you, bro. I'll do this for you. That's why I'm like, I completely am okay with that because there's some comedy, and
it's also like thing to do for
a little kid.
I felt like there was a lot of privilege in changing the world in that way. I get that it was like an inconvenience for him, but I just felt like from a privilege standpoint, like, really, Nick? And then like the more what like spit on my face was like after like when he was halfway through the spell and he was like, wait, you didn't even try to talk to these niggas before you asked me to like fix this stuff? Like that to me was even more of a spit in the face. I would have felt it more if
I felt Dr.
They
Strange
like
that's privilege. Let's be honest, because if you're not a rich white boy, you do not know that's.
What's the thing?
Like they tell you you're not in the school that you can fight back. Like you really took that L. My parents down, group of people, you did not know you do that. You only
And I feel you on
that
that.
is people with money.
I feel you on that, but isn't it more privileged that you just were like, hey, my life sucks, so I'm just gonna go to this magical wizard nigga and have him take care of all of my problems?
That's you save the world with this nigga. Y'all supposedly kind of y'all got a little relationship. Y'all cool.
Okay, so let's look at where all the other Avengers landed, and if they went and cried to Doctor Strange about their problems.
Yes, that's on them. They goofy.
I get you, but what I'm saying is they didn't though, because as mature adults they realized
kids knocked unconscious in they bed for.
It's okay. To me, like while it annoyed me that he did that, I did feel like he got the stupid payback because he lost, spoiler alert, Aunt May. And that was all his decision. If he never did that shit, he would never have lost her. And if he never did the more stupid shit on top of that of like, oh, these niggas don't need to go back to their timeline, we can fix them, which once again I have a big gripe with, because unless they're going to promise me that they will explain how these niggas like continued on healed, I feel like it was a waste of my time to even go through that bullshit. Like if you go, they took them all from weird times, so they didn't even explain that part, right? So they took Doc Ock right before he was gonna get killed. My understanding is when that nigga went back, he still got murked. So what was the point of being healed if you still gonna go back and get murked, right? Like, oh, okay, I guess that meant what was that?
Yeah, so I thought he was about to think that.
Right. But that was some of my gripes with that. Did you watch it?
I didn't, but I already been spoiled like completely, practically. I mean, even before now. So it's just like I'll watch it eventually. But no, I'm pretty much in a complete agreement regarding the whole. So you tried no other avenues than go to homie Doctor Strange to literally manipulate the entire world so you can be Gucci.
Right.
I mean, I feel like there should have.
I would have felt better if it was just for his friends. Like he kind of added his friends as like a add-on to it, which I was like, all right, sure. But like, it just the premise was weird. I just felt like there was a better way to write that to where it just didn't seem so privilegey of just like, hey, my life sucked. Like his life would be fine. Like he's still smart as fuck. The only thing that he really fucked over, I felt like, was his friends' lives, and I was even more mad because I was like. So you fucked their lives over, then this whole bullshit happened. They kind of found a little bit of happiness, at least the fat guy did, because he started using magic and shit. So I was like, oh, this may go down somewhere. And then it's like, nope, we forgot about all this, but we're not really going to explain what parts they remember and what parts they don't. So I was just like...
like the whole... Okay. So the... Yeah, again, going to the spell, getting the spell done, to me, that wasn't a big deal because it just made sense to me. If I was in Spider-Man's shoes, I would have hit his ass up too. But what I didn't like how they brought in the villains, right? I know what you said, like the whole point, them being there, like they're like their arc of turning into good people.
Yeah.
What was the point? That all kind of didn't make sense to me. It was like you said. All these niggas just gonna die when they go back anyway. Like that nigga was drowning in the ocean, bro. Like you gonna send what's going on? Like, and then, that's kind of petty. You made him do all.
And you lost your mom, basically your mom off that, which is more annoying to me. I'm like, you lost your mom off basically doing what amounts to nothing.
Oh, yeah, and that's what pissed me off even more because Spider-Man was kind of stupid in the movie. Like not for going to Doctor Strange. Like everything. Sure. Everything after that, once the spell fucked up, it was like, I'm like, nigga, why you
send these niggas home?
Like, you don't know these niggas,
right?
I guess Spider-Man is a stupid character, like you said, but it just, we're probably supposed to be annoying, really. Mm-hmm. I assume that's what we're supposed to feel, but it still was stupid though. Like, nigga, right. Your aunt just died because you want to try and save some niggas.
Be fucking stupid. And I got the Spider-Man in it because Spider-Man does do like. Shit like that where it was like, okay, so I get him trying to save them. I'm just like, it still kind of amounted to nothing. Like I felt like the movie could have done more to resolve that for us, to at least make it worth it in some way. But basically, from what I understand, these niggas all went back to die or basically still lived the same shitty lives they were living before. And if that's the case, then you really lost your mom for nothing.
See, but
Why?
because they were like fucked up people. Right now, the argument could be maybe they're about to go back to die in a certain.
Wait! Don't kill me. I'm good now.
I mean, but we don't know that though, right?
Yeah, we don't.
That's the problem.
We don't know that. But if it is not the case, like they coming back to Spider-Man, let's stop. Spider-Man
I feel you.
like, really? Are you good? You sure?
Well,
But I feel like they could have gave us that resolution. That wasn't hard to do. That's just like a 5-minute scene of boom, they went back. This is how their storyline changed a little bit, right? Like, I feel like they could have gave us that payoff instead of just leaving it as like what I was left to assume is basically everything went back to the way it was.
honestly, I think it's just like a fuck up. I don't think we're supposed to think too hard about it because that nigga Doc Ock had turned good in Spider-Man 2 before he died.
100%.
That's why he died, because he turned good and decided to save and take the thing under the ocean with him. So I just think they want us to not think about it, just gloss over it and say, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, but that's my issue with the overhyping. Like, I can understand. I could be super nitpicky on certain stuff. I was wrong about Doctor Strange. That's him. I did like the scene with Jamie Foxx when he was like, "Nigga, I thought you was black." That shit was dope. I'll give him that.
That's a plot hole, because then that means he doesn't know who Peter Parker is. That's a huge plot hole, but it still was one of the funniest parts of the movie.
Right, exactly. I liked the little fat boy using the magic shit. Like, there was good moments. I just think that, like, most of the time I just spent most of the movie being like, Peter, you are a fucking idiot. Like, that was pretty much what I spent watching until the end. And then it was like, oh, look, mature Tobey Maguire. And I feel them on that, but I really wish they would understand. Am I still alive? Oh, okay, cool. I really wish they would understand that the last time I saw Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man, I saw him as an emo kid walking up the street acting like a fucking idiot. So, like, I didn't come in with that context of like, oh, look at mature. I came in with, oh, this fucking idiot is here too? Okay, cool. Like, let's see what he's gonna say.
You know,
And to me, I felt like all the moments everybody was like oohing and ahhing for was like member berry moments. They'd be like, I got a Mary Jane too. I got a Mary Jane too. And everybody's like, oh, and I'm like, yes, Spider-Man's have Mary Janes. Yep, that's a thing. So, 8 out of 10. It wasn't a bad movie. I just had some gripes with how it was executed.
I agree.
What I'll say about
Like,
general.
I mean, I don't think Marvel is going to, but
You know, just-
this would be my caution for the future, is that I see that they start
Comic book
accurate. And
for some people,
I think a very small minority think that, but I think riding with the wave of like, oh, like you said, Doctor Strange does something stupid,
accurate.
but
Who gives a fuck?
like the comic books were so bad that Marvel had to sell
Sony owns Spider-Man
out. Comic books fucking sucked. Get over with. Like,
They'll never
be
There's a small minority of people
that
that
actually fuck with the comic books heavy.
push away from this stuff becomes a little ridiculous.
Like, well, why would he do that?
These things.
Why?
Whereas before,
It's
it's
like we could understand why Tony Stark was making some issues. Rich
Billionaire.
billionaire asshole. We see that shit all the time. We know how to.
Right. I got money.
Nazi
fuck it.
17-year-old
Big
shit just to get something.
issues dealt with.
It felt like a teen
I see
angst
that girl
movie.
Before. Okay, I quit.
It felt like a teen angst movie.
Mhm.
Yeah. But yeah, that's all I had to say. For the people that was out there like overhyping it, I do think it was overhyped, but I'm not gonna be mad at your hyping of it. I can see why people would leave the movie and go like, "That was amazing, that was the best part." I can see that. I don't agree with it, but I can see why people said that. So I'm not gonna dismiss those opinions. I'm just gonna say, huh?
I consider it the greatest of all time.
like, and when you say that, right? Like, because that's what was going through my mind when I was watching the movie, right? Like, because we talked about it beforehand. So I was watching it, going like, okay, niggas is saying this is the greatest. Like, how? So I had to like take my inventory of all the Marvel movies I've seen, and I go like, the only real team up movie, right? Are like three of them: the two Avengers movies, and technically Thor Ragnarok. You could argue was a team up movie because of Hulk's involvement and all that other stuff.
And the
Captain
Captain
America Civil War. That was
Oh yeah, my bad. That too. And if I look at those, would I say I had as much fun with those? No. Would I say if the Avengers movie maybe was like if Infinity War was one big movie, I think I could make a stronger case. But since they were like two separate movies, I have to look at them separately. And I like can see how somebody would say that Spider-Man movie was better, especially with the history of Spider-Man. I think that's what gives it that edge too. Like more people know that nigga Spider-Man than they do anyone else.
For sure, Spider-Man's. But I think we need to separate like what we
consider.
And the
reason I think that
is because we go to comic book movies for. You wouldn't go blind lightning homie with a hammer. No, you go watch Thor. You're watching. So what?
Matrix
is bullshit for dangling nostalgia in front of us. I think
a Marvel movie job, right?
Like we're going for the name. We're going for kind of
these things.
On top of that, do we want a good story, a compelling story?
The most important
thing that
comic book movies for
is to see a portrayal of a character.
With that being
said, all of our cinematic versions of a portrayal of a character, them niggas
movie
within the
it was kind of fire.
And so yes,
it was a Power Rangers team up episode.
Team up episode.
It was 100% a Power Rangers team up episode.
Like a Power Ranger team up episode, but this is
what they're trying to do though.
So that's why I'm like they tried to do that thing and phenomenally. Movie ever? No. Is it the best comic book movie if a comic book is the
like,
remember this character? Look at him in this story.
But I guess my question or counter to that just to you is just like how much save or like how much points do we give like Spider-Man into the verse then? Because that took a lot of Spider-Mans that we had no clue about and turned it into a good movie, right? Like that was a crossover movie that didn't depend on nostalgia, but it was in the same premise, right? Like that's what I was battling with.
Because Peter is the same Parker that we get from Sam Raimi's Spider-Man. Even his story goes along the same way. We invoke that we know this nigga. Like so they
that movie
to get it across too.
100%. Yeah, I'll give you that. I'll give you that for that one Spider-Man. I don't necessarily give you that for the other Spider-Mans that showed up, huh?
But he's the main Spider-Man. He's the one that spends the most time in front of the camera outside of Miles.
I feel you, but would you say that the movie was solely dependent on that Spider-Man as to why we liked it? Because I wouldn't say that.
I think that personally, he was my favorite Spider-Man. Yeah, I think he was very important as the second supporting character. Like he had an extremely important role. The movie would not have been the same without him. He was the second most viewed character in the movie. He's important.
But I'm not saying he's not important. I'm just saying like that didn't. I guess what I was saying is if I take that Spider-Man out of Spider-Man Into the Verse, I think you can still have a decent movie. If I take the Spider-Mans out of that other movie, you have a bad movie, in my opinion.
No, them niggas can't.
I don't know. I mean,
if you take the nostalgia out of that Spider-Man movie, so none of them show up. Andrew Garfield doesn't show up. The villains don't show up. None of that. Just some niggas you don't know.
MCU version. Like, because the only nostalgia we get in is the fact that they came from a different movie. But if them niggas was just MCU Doc Ock and he had to fight all them Sinister Six, do I think it would sell? Yes. Why? Because Sinister Six versus Spider-Man is one of the highest selling comic books of all time. It will definitely have been one of the highest selling movies of all time. It's a popular. Every single Spider-Man movie, the Raimi verse, the one with Andrew Garfield, have all been trying to build up to that exact moment, right? Because it is one of the most. It's the Avengers Endgame of Spider-Man, right? This nigga fighting 6 villains, he get packed out, put on a black suit. It's a whole bunch of shit, right? But yeah. Either way, they just decided to go a way that made it even more lit. Like, it still would have been the highest grossing movie. Spider-Man movie, even if it wasn't no type of interdimensional shit. Spider-Man versus 6 swole niggas. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I can't argue that, like the number standpoint, sure. I just think personally, I don't think I would have put it in like any of these lists if the nostalgia part wasn't there. That's it. That's my personal preference. I can't argue the numbers. I don't disagree with what you're saying about the backing that the movie has if they still use the same villains. I don't disagree with that. I'm just saying personally, would it hit? Would I have resonated with the movie? No. Would it have just been like the same old Marvel movie I've been watching with the other stuff? Yes, that's how I would feel about it.
I can't speak on whether or not it would hit. I feel like that's an unknown. Like, maybe they turn that bitch up or not. But all I can say is what Spider-Man is like the most popular character on the planet. The nigga All Might. Even when his movies suck, they blow open doors. Like, it would have absolutely been a blockbuster because Spider-Man name on it, no matter what. Right. Something to keep in mind, even when we talk about Into the Spider-Verse. It's like, yeah, it does good, but it's like doing good with All Might on your team. It's the most popular character on the planet. Like, of course it's gonna do good. I don't think Spider-Verse was that much better than Spider-Man No Way Home. And then I gotta take out points because it's animated. It's easier to do shit animated than it is to do.
Come on, that's not fair.
Come on, bro. That's just real life. Trying to get a person to emote instead of just saying, no, hey, draw this nigga face this way. Come on, it's harder. It's hard.
No, I give you that. What I'm saying though is that if you put both movies side by side, that Spider-Man movie is always going to have the edge. The live action one is always going to have the edge over the animated one.
Not for people like us with intelligence, surely.
But that's what we're talking about. When you start talking about the grossing and all these number stuff, you're talking about the average and the mass to me, not me specifically, right? So when you talk about that, then to me, yes, the live action one always has the edge. But people are way more connected to Tom Holland.
Anything other than an impersonal data dump to you because I can't tell what you would like. Like, it's the future that we can't see. That's an alternate universe, my nigga. I can't tell you would have liked. That shit would have slapped him. That's all I can say.
Right, no, but when you said taking, I won't get too much into it. All I'm going to say is the taking points away from the animated thing is unfair because the live action one already has the edge. That's all I was saying.
Okay.
The mass audience is way more connected to that. Most people didn't get out their seats to see Spider-Man Into the Verse. They got up to see it because other niggas was like, you have to see this movie. People will get up on their own to watch Spider-Man. Huh?
And some people still wouldn't see it because it's a cartoon.
There you go.
Yeah, for sure. Of course.
Oh, 100%.
If you leave the niggas that refuse to watch Into the Spider-Verse.
Hey, all right. Well, that's it for the Spider-Man shit. On to the anime segment. So, kicking it off with this Naruto What If. So, question came to us in our group chat, which was, what was the question Gramps asked specifically? Because I had the high level topic.
I think he said like, would Minato be the leader of Akatsuki, or it was a two-parter. It's like if Minato joined the Akatsuki, would he be the leader, or and something else, right?
Yeah.
I think the idea was like if he was in the Akatsuki, would he basically rise up the ranks and become the top nigga?
Okay, gotcha.
I think, and would they be better? What?
Right. So we're just gonna take it broadly and go, what do we think would happen? Would it improve the story, hurt the story? Where do we think Minato would land if he did actually join the Akatsuki instead of just dying?
I think because like you really got to get the idea of where people place Minato because the Akatsuki, some of the level people, and when I say human, I mean like we got to accept that towards the end of Naruto, they were not humans. Madara, them dudes are at a different.
True.
Like, who do y'all think is the strongest in the Akatsuki off top?
From the list of niggas, I mean, we have to go between Pain and Toby. I feel like that's what was kind of stated.
Right.
I'm just wondering. Because
come on, bro. I'm not an Itachi stan. I love Itachi, but like, let's be real. Like, he was trying to overtake it. Do we think if Itachi like was left to his own devices, he would be able to flip the Akatsuki? No, I don't think so.
I still think so.
Yeah, I'm sure he would. Huh?
Wait, what'd you say?
I didn't hear what you said, Jamal.
What the Itachi disease? You don't think he goes?
No,
I still don't see it. Like,
I think it would take a while.
Like what?
I would say this: I don't think it's happening in the Naruto Shippuden timeline with that Itachi we saw without him being sick. I think it would happen in a following storyline of like, I need to grow just a little bit more before I got it.
What's the question? If Itachi could have flipped, like, could have became the leader? You mean?
Yeah.
It was Itachi action.
I don't think he was the strongest. I think like just based off trajectory, he would have become the strongest. Like I think so at a certain point.
He was
the same way Sasuke became stronger than that nigga.
I would agree. I don't know if we can still say that. I mean, at this point now in Boruto, but are you referencing like the time where he beat him as when he became stronger than Itachi?
No, I'm saying Sasuke is stronger than Pain because I consider.
Okay, got you.
By the end of the show, Sasuke was stronger than him, and I assumed Itachi would be on that same kind of timeline.
Well, I mean that only happened because Buddy took his eyes though, right?
What?
I mean, as far as like Sasuke becoming stronger than Pain at the end, it was all about the eyes and then bloodlines, etc., etc.
Yeah, sure. He just steals Sasuke eyes. Sure.
Yeah. Like I agree with Deuce in that I believe in Itachi's potential. I just don't think that in Shippuden he had the potential to be. I don't think in Shippuden he had the actual strength to be the top.
Yeah. At that exact time.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I guess to go back to what P5 was asking regarding Minato and the timeline, I completely agree. I thought that was like the biggest issue I was having when Grams first proposed the question, because if Minato joined the Akatsuki, we're talking about a complete storyline shift here. And like, in my opinion, that goes pretty early if we're thinking about it. So we're talking about like a lot of events that'd be different. Would have to be considered.
What does it shift really though? Because I honestly think they could still pretend this nigga died and have him in the Akatsuki. And you never we didn't know about Toby for the longest. You know what I mean? Like they could very easily hide that nigga's alive. Huh?
Wait, so
niggas used to think Toby for that before like we actually found out when it was still a mask. Motherfuckers was like, oh, that's the fourth. He just dyed his hair black.
See?
Tell you.
But I mean, that's just it, though. So I mean, like, I feel like it would still have to be a replacement. Like, I guess it's tough for me to see the fourth Hokage and Toby being on the Akatsuki at the same time.
I see it just like this.
Oh, wait, what?
I see it like this. Kurama attacks.
Okay.
He dies.
Yeah.
In that death, he really just dipped out to the Akatsuki, right? Did the whole village thing happen later or at that same time that Kurama attacked?
But it would have to be the reasoning, though, right? So I mean, like, fourth Hokage still is thinking about Naruto, right? So are you trying to say that like the fourth Hokage's main goal would have been then to get like Naruto and the Akatsuki
this world?
No, it could even easily align with Madara's, because honestly, if there's anyone who knows the atrocities of war, it's the fourth Hokage. That nigga was a beast murdering motherfuckers, and he probably could have easily just been like, I'm sick of this shit. I wanted to end it. So Madara approached me. I was like, that shit makes sense. All right, bro.
The problem was the lack of hope, though. I mean, like, because like the fourth Hokage was still hopeful in his death because of Naruto. So if like they wanted to shift it to his side, I feel like they would have to do something to Naruto because of that, though, wouldn't they?
Like you're putting your current knowledge based off of like if none of that shit we knew happened, like all the stuff that happened when the QB attacked, all the shit him and his wife said and all that stuff, we didn't know any of that. So like we talking about when Toby was just in the mask, we didn't know shit, anything about the Akatsuki for real. That could have been the fourth Hokage, and we would all ran with it. We would
100%.
would probably been even better, low key. So
right? No, it would have been better. High key. Because that Obito shit was dumb, bro.
Yeah, you just can't look at it with your like your current knowledge, because that's what they're putting into his personality and all that stuff into it. We didn't know anything about that nigga, literally.
Right.
Zero.
I can see them selling this. That's all.
Overall about the question. I think if Minato joins the Akatsuki, right? Not only do I think is he the strongest member, obviously not in outright power because that nigga Pain can level a fucking village. But in the power combined with smarts, I mean, I think they fairly lead us to believe that Minato was the in Konoha. They go as far as to even say like the only nigga with higher grades than Itachi was him, right? Like he mastered space-time jutsu, no Kekkei Genkais, just all balling. I think that he is the once-in-a-lifetime genius that these niggas don't have, that y'all just said if Itachi had a few more years he would get. Because when I look at Minato, I just see Itachi who didn't get these. Because they compare them niggas so hard. It's just like, okay, what if we got Itachi, except he a grown-ass man now and been training and fighting niggas. Like, I think that nigga would have definitely took over. He's smarter than all them niggas. Most of them niggas stupid. We know for a fact Toby was stupid. You know what I'm saying? He was Naruto.
We know for a fact Kakuzu ass was an idiot.
Stupid. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Like all
dumbass.
All them niggas was dumb. You know what I'm saying? So he would have definitely been in and like puppeteered them. The only nigga who was smart was Orochimaru and Itachi.
Yep.
And
Orochimaru would have smelled that.
Not to try that shit with Minato. Y'all brought this nigga here? You know what I'm saying? He already knew. So I think Minato would have took that shit over, been the leader, and they would have made way better choices in life.
It's like I agree with you, but it's like I guess I see conflict in it, but it's conflict that low-key could get resolved via plot and be good anime content in the end, Because like when that happens, like him trying to take over Akatsuki, you're gonna be playing with the Zetsus and like the Hashirama cells, the Madara who's not really here yet. So it's like all of that would have been like, oh, that would have sucked, but actually that low key could have been fired based on how that gets developed. So it's like,
So who do you think is the leader now? Like the leader of Akatsuki? Do you think the leader was Pain, or do you think the leader was Toby?
The leader was Toby, in my opinion.
I feel like they said it as if like Toby was calling the shots from behind the scenes, but I like the upper like who's really running your job? Is it the CEO who y'all never see and never enter, or is it the nigga that you want to do? Like, so I feel like I want to put my money with Pain more the day to day.
I would see the fourth being more of like a Toby, like just a smart nigga in the background, that's trying to run shit. So that means him and Madara would have eventually had to fight because Toby was just doing what Madara said.
Right.
No, that's a different story. So the fourth one to get murked.
I missed the follow-up question.
That he would create
packed his ass up.
I think the fourth would create a faction. Like not a full takeover, but like when shit hit the fan, there would probably be like half the niggas like, yo, we loyal to Minato. And now it becomes a fight. I could see that. But definitely once you get to that, it's over.
Yeah, you're saying that's where his strength stops?
I don't think Minato is even close. Except speed. I think he's still fast.
Yeah, I can see a possible setup at the end. But what I would say is that I think from a story standpoint, like I said in the text message, Minato joining the Akatsuki is like beautiful story writing. Because if you just think about some of the key moments in Naruto as it relates to the Akatsuki and like the higher level niggas, and you just replace that with Minato, is crazy. Like if Jiraiya was on his deathbed with pain, and then fucking Toby shows up, removes the mask, and it's fucking Minato. Like both students this nigga trained, both students he expected like to be the GOAT, and he basically got betrayed by both those motherfuckers. Like that would probably break Jiraiya like even more than he was already broken at that point in time. So I think that would be dope. The whole Naruto finding out that like, oh, actually I thought both my parents was dead, but like, no, nigga, you was alive this whole time and you're an asshole. Like, I think that would be crazy. And yeah, like I'm of the belief that he would probably be the top nigga in the Akatsuki, if not right out, but like definitely eventually. But I caught some of what you were saying at the end. I do agree that like I don't know if I feel like he would necessarily fully bow down to Madara. So I like that like splinter organization idea of like, yeah, I'm following you, but really I got like an Itachi type of plan in the works to like flip the shit.
Yo, it's kind of after you just said that low key, I'm kind of having flip thoughts now. Because like the reasons why I was about Minato joining the Akatsuki, I think is more about the what, but not about the why. But about you explaining that like how Minato was also like a student of Jiraiya, Naruto's dad, and kind of takes away like the plot of the opposing mindsets as far as Naruto and Pain. I think low key Minato would take that away, wouldn't it? Because of the repetition. It's more like the conflict that, or like the plot issues that Naruto was going to have with Minato's dad has kind of low key already been used with Pain, and it would be more so of like they then would be diluted since they're both together, kind of shooting out the same ish.
To me, I feel like Minato would just shut down every Naruto argument because nigga, I'm your dad. Like Naruto could say all this other shit to people, like, "Oh, I lived a lonely life too because of blah blah blah." But imagine saying that shit to like your parent. Like it's just different. Like he could just shut that shit down. Of like, so I don't have a bloodline either. Like I've been through the same shit too, nigga. You at least got the nine tail fox. You got some strength, nigga. I grinded this shit from the bottom. Like what talk no jutsu are you going to pull out on him? Oh, I'm your son. Yeah, I knew that when I left the village. Like I pretty much said fuck you at that point in time. So what do you mean? Like I think
we could get rid of like Rain Village and Naga because his connection to Jiraiya is ridiculous, and they could just be given to.
It's very flimsy.
Okay. It doesn't change anything about the story because, surprise, surprise, he was already Jiraiya's student. Like nothing. Right. The story is unchanged.
And on top of that,
you really want a complete replacement then with like Pain and Fourth Hokage like that?
I would. Like the Pain can still be there, but just simply as a very strong
random nigga.
The observant for the entire show because his secret deep past end up meaning nothing. The only point besides him being a strong ninja was that Jiraiya thought I was this prophecy. Wasn't true. It's Naruto. That actually has a better connection when you go, oh, I thought I was the GOAT. Guy who's a genius, who's Naruto's dad, who's everything that fits just like Pain. Wasn't the GOAT. So because Jiraiya's idea is stupid. Right. And he got the same argument Pain got. Like, I was a child of a 1v1000 fight. Came out that bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had to watch my first child, Toby, get a fucking rock dropped on his head. Mm-hmm. Pick up and we win this shit. I like it.
And then even that, like, you get to me what what Player 5 was saying, we kind of got like a story about a world we didn't care much about, and really the only value there was like we kind of got to see how they became Sanin through Pain's story. But I feel like there's way more worth to actually learning about Minato's story as Jiraiya's student and like maybe his fellow compatriots if they existed, which I'm assuming existed, and what happened to them.
What if they in paper with Minato and the girl Kakashi put his hand through? The story even. Because then, like, it's like, yo, we got somebody for Kakashi. Get fucked up.
Oh yeah.
Dipped in Kakashi, you left, but you was the one that said that homies over missions. Like, flip the script up.
Damn,
All right.
that's interesting.
I agree. I like that route.
I kind of see that. Damn.
But instead,
All right.
folded.
Lol.
I'm telling you. I'm still waiting on the Naruto prequel, man. Just end Boruto early. We don't need it anymore. Give me the Naruto prequels. That's what I
Give
need.
us the Minato, Naruto generation.
No, I mean like low key, like the old Kage from the other villages and how everything got like set up. That could be mad decent.
Mhm.
Hear me out.
And they still
A show,
playing.
you can go in,
Reddit.
call it Kage Chronicles, an anthology
Kage Chronicles.
throughout the year. We just get to see these niggas going hard in the paint.
I think that'd be dope.
That would sell.
Implemented.
100%.
They could even do a future episode if they wanted to. Some nigga we ain't even met yet. All right. We want to drop this. Rock Lee. What would help Rock Lee be a better character? So
I mean,
this
to
spawned
summarize, just more screen time, in my opinion. But
So this spawned from like a question I got in the IG DMs, but basically they were curious on our thoughts on whether we think if like they focus more on Rock Lee's drunken fist, it would make him like a better character. I kind of want to expand on that, at least specifically for Rock Lee, and then if people like it or this does well, maybe we'll do it with more side characters. But what could have made Rock Lee better? My opinion has always been the same. Everything that happened to my guy should have happened to Rock Lee, and he probably would have been fine.
that's true. I mean, I'm
I
still in
will say
agreement with that
this.
viewpoint.
Oh, my bad.
No. That's what I was gonna say. Go ahead.
Okay, I was gonna say I think it can also be summed up pretty simple.
Black Lady should.
Like obviously, your answer, MGG, is my number one. For Rock,
Mm-hmm.
Like,
fuck the Gates because clearly that was Rock or Mike. Just give him his.
look at it.
Oh, that's Rock Lee's. You know, whatever it is. If that be drunken,
That'd be cool.
like what if
Drunken.
lecherous bastard? He'd be kind of funny.
All right. What if he had a blue jumpsuit instead of a green?
No more.
But no, I feel you.
You know what? Team Spirit shit. I'm off this drink. Just go around.
I'm telling you. That would be good.
Anything.
It would also be, it would be funny to get deeper into that though. Like Metal Lee be like, yeah, how'd you get so strong, Metal? My dad drinks a lot. My dad drinks a lot and started boxing the shit out of me. So I figured it out. He keep getting mad at my mom, talking about she don't do shit, she ain't never want to fight, something like that. He start drinking and he start whooping my ass.
It's officially a saying. Like we got a domestic abuse.
I mean, but yo, fuck, but hardcore though, that could have worked. Like in an effed up way. Like if you go all the way back to right after homie got via Gara, and like part of his medicine was the alcohol he took on accident. He starts like actually like in some random fight. It could even be off screen, but like I found out one time when someone tried to step to me like right outside the village, had some medicine, boxed them. I said, "Yo, I was mad decent with this." He starts working with it, and then like low key, that's how he actually develops the drunken fist up. And he could even low key get some character developed there by getting salty that he still feels weaker than Neji. The alcohol amplifies that to be like, you know what, fuck you, bro. There's some inner squad squabble because we rarely really see a lot of team development with that anyway, dropping in to make it negative. Tintin's like, yo, I hate to see my guys like this. Effing Neji like, man, I'm still effing G. So that's how they develop stronger. And like, I don't know, the squad could just overall get dismantled because no, Coronite doesn't die, but she gets predators. So it's like, fuck, who's gonna be our leader? F it, we don't need no squad. We're gonna be riding solo dolo. And then they just add some missions like that too. So
fuck with it.
That could have
You
been.
know what I think they should do? Don't you know how what's that thing with the God damn it with the blood and it's like Osmosis Jones, that anime.
Oh, the Cells at Work?
Yeah, Cells at Work. How they made like a Cells at Work black, where it's like, yo, it's the same premise, but like more of a seinen, more like adult. They just do that with Naruto. Like now we can get like fucking alcoholic, abusive rock.
Right. And we kind of had that early Naruto. It just kind of got cleaned up around Shippuden. But like early Naruto was pretty dark. They had some sad moments. I wouldn't say they were super duper seinen, but like, I mean, blood, gore and shit.
No, there was some low key moments where, I mean, granted, it was more Orochimaru for me personally, but that Naruto was evil, dude. I mean, in the sense of like some ish that they were going into, as far as like what he did to like the Sound Village kids and how he don't even care about them like kind of dying in fights a little bit. I mean, I was like, damn.
I'm still shocked that he murked this fucking Kazekage off screen. Like we never got that fight. Like, and no one ever really talks about it as how big of a war crime it actually was. He went in this other nigga village, assassinated him, and then pretended to be him.
So disrespectful.
Yo.
I say guards like, you got thrown in a ditch, bum ass nigga.
Yo.
I do not like the fourth Kazekage. Just leave it at that.
I feel you. All right. So let's jump into the next one. So spiders versus Chimera Ants. You want to kick that off, player 5?
Sure, we could. So basically, I was thinking, what would happen if instead of the Hunter Association, if normal cast of the Phantom Troupe instead went to fight the Chimera Ants? Would it go the same? Would it go worse, better? What do y'all think?
So my only question is at what time period? So are the Phantom Troupe coming in kind of like when they got established, or like where okay, so same time that like Netero summoned the two niggas to run through. Yeah. I honestly think that they got.
Let's do two arguments to make it a little more straightforward. Or no, let's just say this: Chimera Ants, for whatever reason, because they got missions, can only bring the same amount of people that was brought. So it's like Netero, two random niggas, and then what they have, Gon and Killua. That's 5 hunters.
And then they did technically have Knuckle and that weird buddy.
So the 5 best hunters from.
Wait, you said they have more people?
Remember, Smoke Buddies.
They had 2 apprentices.
The Knuckle, the guy with the pompadour, and then
the one that was like Kuwabara, and then there was another dude who had like a
ponytail with the
bird
cage.
Yeah.
So it was those 2, Gon, Killua, and then Netero, Space Buddy, and Smoke Buddy. So if you want to say arguable 7.
And dumb niggas had some pretty shitty Nen abilities, if I'm being quite honest.
That's what, This is, I mean, and again, like if we're talking about the full Phantom Troupe, honestly, I actually think the Phantom Troupe should be able to handle them, except for Meruem. I still don't know if Crollo is going to be able to get over Meruem, because no one else in the squad is really going to be able to take him if Crollo can take him in the first place.
Question is, when you see the Phantom Troupe, like who all is in it? Because at certain times I think their numbers like fluctuated. Like is Hisoka in it, or you count him as a fake from the get go?
If we're talking about the anime, he's still in it, right? Or he joined?
Like he joined right when Gon and Killua figured out who all the Phantom Troupe really was. We can use like that base squad.
I can use the wiki list and tell you, or share my screen.
Sure. Let's see.
And then you guys can pick from there who you think y'all want to count. To me, I kind of already got my 5, but I would say Lucifer for me, Phaeton, Nobunaga, those three for sure. I think they handling most,
That's true.
and then I would add Finks in there just because I fucks with him, and then that already puts me at 4.
I'm
And then I would
unsure
take
if we should
Illumi.
count the Zoldyks. I don't
Yeah,
know.
if we want to kick Illumi out, my backup. Well, no, I think Kalito is actually like I would consider her a member still.
I mean-
Illumi and Hisoka are the ones where I'm like, y'all play games, so like you're doing
They
it for some
definitely not
advantageous
pulling up.
reason. Yeah,
So,
No,
but
Hisoka
you
might
can
pull
you
up.
can add those two
Hisoka
buddies
might
for
pull up.
former members. If you scroll down, I would say that's fair to add that chick and that guy. Oh, even Evogan. Yeah. So like technically Evogan, Shrinks, Cortopi, and that chick. I think they were all in it for a minute. So you
I
could
think we add
actually
Hisoka too, because that nigga gonna pull up to fight.
If Hisoka
Yeah.
know that Meruem there, he
Oh
pulling
yeah,
up.
he's pulling up
He
for
gonna
sure.
pull up.
But that
He
was
gonna
an
pull up.
unknown.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so I would say it's fair if you cut out the Zoldyks, cut in Hisoka, and then also those 4 down there for former members also. I think that's actually fair for like the full picture of Phantom Troupe.
All right, cool.
Yeah, I can't even lie. All I need is
Yo.
5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We good. I really don't think most of them niggas was weak. The hardest ones was those top 3, and their quirks. I mean, their nens were like shitty. It just was like they went against other niggas who had shitty nens.
Like, so
You don't
if
think
you
the
ask
numbers
me,
would ever be a problem?
You said
if you
what?
ask me Chimera Ants or without Meruem, I'd say Phantom Troupe gonna win, but they can't beat that nigga. I don't care what they do. They could.
You
They
know
could
what
jump
Crollo
that
did?
nigga.
Crollo's
No, he
ability
cannot
is
beat Meruem.
stealing.
Huh?
His actual ability is stealing niggas' moves. That's what Crollo does.
But it's stealing people's name. But at the same time, do we even know what Meruem's nin signature
I
I
don't know
thought
what
that's
that
what
does,
his
nigga.
name
It
was
was
the
all him.
evolution aspect.
That nigga got. Hey, chairman got clapped. Prolo gonna get clapped.
So you
Any of them
think
niggas gonna
Crollo
get
could
clapped.
be, the chairman?
Huh?
You could beat Netero? You think Crollo could beat Netero?
I don't think so.
So I think they're pretty close. I can see it.
All I have to say, all I got on Crollo is one scene, which is him playing with them 2 Zoldyks. And when he was fighting, when he was fighting them 2 Zoldyks, that
Like,
nigga said this nigga's up to some other shit and dipped. That's all I'm
Fight for his
saying.
motherfucking life is what he was doing.
I don't know, because they left going, hold on.
No, he got.
Bro,
Hey,
you
Crollo got
just
worked. Though.
remembering
They
that.
worked his ass. I thought.
Nigga.
Yeah, I
Head to
remember
toe,
him getting worked.
that nigga was fighting for
Okay.
his motherfucking life. And then they
Tracked up.
you're lucky. It walked off, nigga. That's how that if the contract
You're
was
right,
still
though.
ticking, they would have
He's
killed
right,
that
though.
nigga.
Yeah.
They wasn't
I
gonna
think
walk
the
away
one thing to say,
without
though-
some scars.
The one thing to say is that Crollo and even old Zoldyck buddy did say that Crollo's going to take out one of them though. He was going to end up
Yeah,
losing,
yeah.
but he was going to body one of the Zoldycks though.
Yeah, they can't beat him 1-on-1 either. Definitely not. But
Yeah.
they definitely he's gonna get worked.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure. And they pulled up to help too. Don't forget, they pulled up to help in the Chimera Ant for 5 seconds. Grandpa Zoldyck pulled up.
Oh, that's right.
He did
Yeah.
that dragon shit
But-
and dropped
And
nigga
also,
off.
I want to argue that them niggas probably wasn't even going all out, bro. Because they had planned to leave anyway, bro.
That's
They
fair. I'm
pulled
giving it
up.
to you. I'm not saying Crollo was dropping both of them together. I'm just saying they made it very clear that this nigga is nobody to mess with. Like he's
No,
not
we agree with
somebody
that.
you
We
fucking
don't
around with.
disagree. But I just think like Meruem, the chairman, if he didn't have that little that shit implanted in his body,
He's gonna lose.
like it would have been a wrap. You know what I mean?
That's
Like, and so I don't think Crowler gonna be the one planting a fucking bomb inside his body to
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna
Akatsuki.
sacrifice himself to get that dub.
You
Yeah,
think old girl
so-
could vacuum that nigga up, Mirror?
Nope.
I mean, don't forget, she was
Nope.
already having trouble with Spider Buddy 1-on-1. I mean, she won, but she was having trouble.
I think
Bro,
that Merriam's the
We can't do
cap.
shit about that nigga, bro.
Merriam's the cap, but I don't think they're struggling as much with those other 3 niggas
Yeah.
the way
Oh, no.
that everyone else was. Like if those 5 people went there, I do not see them struggling the way Gone's group was, like doing the whole main shit and plans and shit. I feel like they just walking into the shits.
Right.
Like, where's that nigga at? Like,
You mean Pito and them, right?
yeah.
Bro, I thought
somebody.
trash.
Their names actually suck.
Pito could probably take out 2 if they stupid
She
with
might
it.
get 2 niggas.
But see, I feel like the writing on those 3 guard guys was really just their raw strength and speed, and not necessarily their nen abilities. Because their nen abilities pretty much suck. Like Pito's was like that fucking doctor that just heals motherfuckers. The butterfly dude, I don't even remember what his shit was. It was something stupid, and then the other guy just got mad and exploded. So I'm like,
I gotta say
I don't know.
right now though. I think Adult Gone rocking everybody except Crollo 1v1.
Nope.
And the only reason I say
rocking
except
Crollo too,
Crollo
nigga.
because I don't know.
You say he rocking Crollo too? You say rock paper scissors get Crollo through the chat? Come on, man.
I don't know the end game on Crollo's power, so I'm gonna leave it be. But I'm just
we don't know much,
I'm
bro.
on your side. I think so too.
We don't know much.
But with that being said, I feel like Pito put up a solid getting trash fight. Like she took a nigga arm while getting her ass dogged. That being said, I think she can get 2 of it. I ain't gonna lie.
But see, my thing is with Hunter x Hunter fights, like the part that is really hard for me to consider and move in is strats. Like that is a huge aspect of these fights. So the question I ask in each one of these is like, is there a pretty easy strat to defeat them? The only one where I have a hesitancy is Merowyn. But I feel like all of the 3 other ones, the reason why they had to develop strats was because they were so overwhelmingly powerful. Where I'm like, Phaeton actually like produces sons. Like he has the ability to do
a couple of these dudes. The cheetah homie with the tag, he
Yeah.
ended a few niggas, bro.
Right. Like,
I mean,
outside of the Royal Guard,
enough to get off.
outside of the Royal Guard, I don't see any of those 5 having a problem with the basic niggas. When we get to the Royal Guard, I would say maybe it's like a 2-on-1 fight each. But I feel like 2-on-1, they're definitely. I have full confidence they're winning those fights.
Mm-hmm.
I mean that's exactly it though. I mean the biggest problem with how the Hunter Association rode up on the Chimera Ants was just pure underestimation. The simple fact of Phantom Troupe rolling full squad deep and then like constantly whittling the Chimera Ants numbers, that's what I think is going to get the dub. Because if the Hunter x Hunter did the exact same thing and just had enough people with enough experience and power, it would have ended up the same way.
Right. They didn't even call their heavy hitters for that shit. Like
exactly.
Ging didn't pull up, Parston didn't pull up. If any of those like Zodiac niggas pulled up, I do think it would have been an easier battle.
Right. So with the whole Phantom Troupe, I mean, I'm again like they're still gonna have to use some strats with these kids because again, like they rolled up reasonably deep as far as just taking out that one Chimera Ant faction, and they did that reasonably easy. True, but they still spent a decent amount of time, or at least more so than I expected.
I got respect on the Phantom Troupe,
bro.
Them the only niggas I know that pull up to Greed Island.
I'm telling you.
That's right. They did. That's right.
I'm telling you, bro.
So
we think they. So it sounds like the consensus is we think they could take most of them. The only one who's a problem is Merowyn.
Right.
Like once it comes to Big Boss, I don't think so. Even if we got like a triple team, quadruple team, we don't think they beating this nigga.
It might be a good fight, but like I think he's gonna get better and better and better as the fight goes on, and then he gonna murk them niggas.
I'm gonna put it this way: if Hisoka is one of the 3 to 4 that they put on him, Merowyn to win, then I believe it. And then this is my thought that Hisoka is the king strat nigga of this entire series, and will figure out how to finesse any nigga up out of their life.
What if it was a Lumi, Hisoka, and Crollo? All 3 of them pulled up on Merowyn. Do we have faith?
That nigga. No deaths.
Those 3. Hisoka was walking around raiding people, bro. 99, 1, 2, 3. That type of cockiness mixed with a Lumi, mixed with Crollo.
Hey, I'll say my Illumi respect isn't that high though.
Dangerous.
Like, he ain't got no feats, bro.
He's a Fuego Leon.
That put respect on his name.
He's a Fuego Leon.
Yeah,
he's a Fuego Leon. Go by association.
So you know, Hisoka respected him. Hisoka respected him. So I gotta give him respect off that.
In a sense, I can see that too. Hey, even based on like I mean, even if you look at like the characters in general, that correlation between Itachi actually fits a lot of bills. So
yeah, he definitely knock off Itachi, and he in that thing of like his dad was, and them niggas don't even tell that nigga what to do.
Itachi's a knockoff Illumi.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
That's fair.
My bad. That's disrespectful. Like Crollo don't talk to this nigga out the side of his motherfucking neck. Like, bro, niggas, Illumi got that shit, bro.
He got something in the back pocket.
And if he not, he just like that nigga from One Punch Man, where it's like, yo, niggas really think you Saitama.
Saitama gonna pop up whenever he get in the fight.
Yeah. No, and then you got to think of the cloth he's cut from. He got them two niggas as his daddy and granddaddy, so I don't think he know Hulk.
Yeah. But at the end, I think it just matters about really how strong Meruem is. I think we don't really know.
Right.
Cause like you said, Pito and them. You said she cut off Gon's arm. That ain't shit to me. That nigga was crying, talking to Killua like, Killua, what's wrong with me? What's happening? And then she snuck up on that nigga.
Exactly.
That was nigga.
So,
okay, but check it out.
He wasn't even paying attention. He don't know what's going on.
She got that motherfucker though.
But remember, they tried to sneak up on the Phantom Troupe member too, Nobunaga. They tried to do that. Killua and Gon. That nigga was like, He sets them in that room immediately, start chasing their ass down, bro. They was not ready. I can't go, man. Oh, but all right. Anything else on the Spiders versus Chimera Ants? All right. Before I jump to, well, actually, I think this will be quick. Let's do is Jujutsu Kaisen better than Black Clover, and then we talk best strip. So, Deuce, I don't know if you want to introduce it because you brought up the question. It was on Twitter, right?
Oh, it was just like, so there was this post somebody had, it was like 3 new anime or whatever. It was Black Clover, Jujutsu Kaisen, and anything, and one other, I don't remember, maybe Demon Slayer, I don't know. But so people started shitting on Black Clover, saying one is not like the others. And obviously they were talking about Black Clover, saying Black Clover is worse than Jujutsu Kaisen and Demon Slayer. So I was just wondering, like, is it just us that kind of?
I really think that it is.
Or like,
that's purely animation bias. As far as them thinking that, to be honest.
I will say this.
Go ahead.
Oh, my bad. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna quickly say that. I mean, I think we at least touched on this before, but it's just purely animation and like how the Jujutsu Kaisen literally started off with beautifully animated fights. I mean, you definitely got to give it to them. And just like Demon Slayer, that hooked people like instantly. Now, don't get me wrong. The Jujutsu Kaisen story is enough for it to still hold its own. I mean, we've been preaching this since we first started reading it. But I'm just saying, like, the actual hype is because of that animation, though.
Don't sleep, though. I think them strats have a say in there, too. I think people like that Hunter x Hunter vibe that it gives off.
I mean, I'm not
it's not heavy.
You're wrong. I just think that after... At least for as far as my head, as far as what I'm like seeing now in the community, I think Demon Slayer kind of started a new precedent in a sense. As far as to like, as long as you have fantastically beautiful animation, you're gonna be in like the top 3, top 5 anime of the day. Period.
Oh, you were talking about Demon Slayer. I thought you were talking about Jujutsu Kaisen.
No. I mean, I was. I'm just saying that like after Demon Slayer, as far as like all that hype it got, how it's literally the most gross film in Japan right now. Right. It's because of that animation.
Got you. Okay.
So I was just saying that because of that, people's like eyes are now open for said animation, and they're getting it again via Jujutsu Kaisen. So after seeing that, they're kind of giving it like that same hype like Demon Slayer, and that's why they're thinking that it's completely overshadowing Black Clover because it doesn't have animation like that, and that's where I think it's fooling people. Gotcha. That's just why at least I see like that huge gap. Why some people like Jujutsu Kaisen over Black Clover, I still see that as far as like on their own entities by themselves. I'm just saying that's what's causing such a huge gap in those opinions.
Mm-hmm.
I personally think that's okay. I don't agree with it. But high level respect on animation because that's kind of also the point. But two types of niggas that just don't like Black Clover, and those are people that just can't get over the first couple episodes. Fair, they're very annoying, or like people that just think it's some type of battle shonen clone without giving the time to like look at it and be like, oh, it's kind of doing its own thing. But I Black Clover is the best shonen out right now. You know, fuck Jujutsu Kaisen, fuck Demon Slayer, fuck Dragon Ball Z, bro. You can name it. Fuck it. Black Clover doing their thing, bro. It's a good story.
Those are facts.
Like, and that shit really all mattered from the jump, bro. Like this nigga connected, bro. He doing it's what a battle shonen should be. This should be the goal battle shonen.
And I feel like that's the key, right? Like I think what's happened since we started watching anime to now is that there's been like good iconic shows, right? So you've had your Hunter x Hunters, you've had your Naruto's, you've had your Bleaches, you had all of these shows, right? One that I want to bring up because it's the most clear, One Punch Man. What happened though now, like later, is that those have actually started becoming their own genres of content. Meaning like people frame their stories based off of the way they were set up in those different whatever you call it, right? And I noticed it mostly with One Punch Man. If you like look at Viz, there's at least 3, maybe 2 manga I can call out right now that pretty much just borrow the One Punch Man storyline. It's some guy who's super strong, and like every episode is just like, what is this super strong guy gonna do today, right? That's taken from that. What I saw in Jujutsu Kaisen was Hunter x Hunter dumbed down to Dragon Ball Z standards. It's literally like the way they set things up. None of the curses are like people's powers are not necessarily like what you would define in the shonen realm of like an OP power. It's more or less OP because of who's wielding it, right? Like you could see a goat nigga besides Gojo. Gojo's power is actually OP, regardless of whether or not he has it or not. That shit is broken. But outside of him, like the other people, you see these little powers and shit, and it's just like the way they strat use it, which is very Hunter x Hunter like in terms of storytelling. And then to me, what Black Clover is, like you said, it's a battle shonen, and I feel like people have started like roping all of these other types of shonen into this battle shonen genre when it's really like they have fights, but they're not really a battle shonen. Like. Right. Black Clover is like, I've studied the Dragon Ball Z battle shonen formula. I've studied the Naruto battle shonen formula, and Fairy Tail, and I've improved on that. And I feel like that's the lens I see it through. Personally, I think it's better than Jujutsu Kaisen because Jujutsu Kaisen has slow moments. To me, I feel like they pace Black Clover incredibly well. Even in their like transition periods to the next arc, they still find ways to keep you interested until they move to that next shit. And most times I don't even know what the next shit they're going to move to is. So I really appreciate that type of storytelling. But I think people are so wrapped up in, like you said, those two things. And also the idea of like, because the way the story's told, it's not mature in their minds. So they have this like, it's automatically shitty because it's not mature. And I'm like, it doesn't necessarily make it shitty.
Something you brought up that I just want to piggyback on, like why Black Clover really is goated and not just some knockoff, is that like obviously there are no more original stories, right? Something fits a category, and like you said, to me, Jujutsu Kaisen does fit that Hunter x Hunter style category. It has a soft power system, meaning like you can't necessarily say exactly how a power gonna come out. It's soft power system that's built on strategy and stuff like that. It is not really like a hard power system like, oh, his power level is this number and does this thing against that thing. You know what I'm saying? It's not a hard power system with ridiculous scaling. And I think they are both in their different lanes. And Jujutsu Kaisen does not come near the top of that lane. You do not have anybody that would make a realistic argument Jujutsu Kaisen is better than Hunter x Hunter. You know what I'm saying? But I will stake my anime reputation on it. Black Clover is better than its predecessors. It is better than Dragon Ball Z at doing the battle manga. It's better than Naruto at doing that shit. Better than Bleach. Better than at being a battle manga. Like, it's doing that.
Right.
It's doing this craft really fucking well.
Right. Alright. Deuce, you got something to add?
I mean, I understand where people are coming from, right? But I also think it's just a lot of hype.
Black Clover or Juice or the other two?
And they don't give Black Clover a chance
at all.
That's the main thing. I think it's like
to this day they still not giving it a chance.
Once you get past like people have an idea of Asta as like a character, and once you get past that though, I think that then you'll really appreciate Black Clover for what it is.
Right. And I feel like it's just very solidly doing it in its lane. And that's my thing. Like Battle Shonen has started to mean a bunch of different things to people. But like I said, I feel like what people are starting to call Battle Shonen isn't really Battle Shonen. It's a different type of series that borrows shonen elements. And they like are trying to compare that to all this other stuff. But like I said, if you're looking at the maturity, like Player 5 said, of the Battle Shonen genre, probably starts before Dragon Ball Z, but like in my timeline, my anime perspective, it starts with DBZ. Then it goes to like Naruto. You might be able to associate Bleach with it, but I feel like Bleach spawned a different lane when it came to like the spiritual and supernatural, and I think Jujutsu Kaisen borrows a little bit from Bleach too. And then it just keeps building from there. And then you have your Fairy Tail, which is another like pure battle shonen to me. Like what you're watching it for is the fights, right? The progression of characters, the story, and everything happens through fights. It doesn't happen through anything else. That's what like I feel like people miss sometimes, and they go like, "Oh, hey, it's not battle shonen." Like Demon Slayer has shonen elements, but it's something else. It really is, in my personal opinion. Demon Slayer is not really. Right, it's not really a shonen.
Okay, that's a little stretch, but okay.
It may be like shonen in terms of like the audience it's targeting, but I mean like in terms of like the genre it's really in, the story is trying to tell. It's more telling like a story with action parts into it than it is whatever. I'm like I don't know what the term for that genre is, but I'll say that I don't really consider it in the same group. But like I said, as far as battle shonen goes, if you're a Dragon Ball Z head that's been following hands for a while, and you're telling me that you watched Black Clover and you think it sucks, I really have to analyze why you think it sucks, right? Like,
True.
Because I'm like, if you're paying attention to that, the way they set up their power system, the way they set up the battles, I've not seen a single battle shonen manga be able to go. There's 3 different power systems in Black Clover. Like, I don't even think people even see that part. There's what Asta's doing. There's what the Royals are doing. There's what motherfucking Magna is doing, right? And there's still more because there's still these races that we barely know anything about. There's whatever the fuck Charmy is. There's I think we introduced another race, like Vanessa's a witch. So there's that. There's other shit. So they're all still following these different power systems and races and levels. I can't name one shonen that has done that well, at least. Naruto would have been
consistent.
Right. That's it. That's all I have to add. I'm off my Black Clover soapbox. Just y'all niggas really need to stop sleeping on it. Like that's how I feel. Hate it if you want to. Say maybe it's not your cup of tea. Oh, go ahead.
I had some people talk to me because when the podcast, have voted our most slept on of the year was like Black Clover was in the running. People under Facebook was like, "What? Black Clover is still slept on?" Like, yes, yeah. I get it. People that watch it are like, "There's no way this is slept on," but it is, bro. It's slept on. Like, where the anime at? You feel me? Like, these busters might get this shit canceled. Like, it's actually the GOAT, and they sleep.
Crazy.
Big sleep. All right. Any other closing comments on that? Jujutsu Kaisen better Black Clover. Seemed like we was on Black Clover's side on that one. All right, best drip. Let's get to it, man. One thing I'll say before I get into introducing the best drip is, hey, I fucks with the audience, man. I didn't think I was gonna find a community of people that aligned with me on certain things, but seeing the way niggas voted for this best drip the contest, I was like, whoa, I did not think niggas was gonna go this direction. I really thought something else. But so best drip tournament we just rolled out this month. Basically, we picked a few characters that we thought had some drip, and we were trying to figure out what the audience thought was the best. So this is our chance to kind of discuss the drippiest niggas. Go ahead. You
I
have something
just
to
want
say?
to interject and say the way niggas clown Best Genius in the chat, bro. Y'all dirty for that, bro.
Oh wait, did they really?
They was clowning my boy Genius.
What?
Like yo,
Damn.
he's just wearing a G fit, bro.
Bro, that's
Don't do my boy like that, though.
So we just gonna go around, give our top two, best strips out of the list. I'll go over the list in a second, and I guess talk about it from there. So the list here is we have Dio, Shishomaru, Erza, Best Genius, Akatsuki, the whole Akatsuki. Are they a clan? The Akatsuki. Killua, Yami Yugi. So I want to be clear, it's Yami Yugi, not Yugi. It's the nigga, the pharaoh inside of this nigga's body. That's what we talking about.
He
And
a nigga
Sailor
with a real
Moon.
drip anyway, so we good. We got it.
He
And
got
Sailor
royal
Moon.
drip.
So out of that, who's our top two? Who's each person's top two? Mine for sure, Yami Yugi. For the culture, only for the culture, Akatsuki. Because out of this entire list, the only thing that people are really wearing, is that Akatsuki drip. So I gotta give it to them. So I'll put Akatsuki and Yami Yugi as my top two. With my winner, my personal winner, Yami Yugi, bro. You can't do the belts. That nigga got belts for days.
Belts for days.
No one's beating
These
these
belts still
belts.
sagging.
This nigga remixed a school uniform. Like, I want people to understand that. Look, when you were watching Yu-Gi-Oh, when Yugi was in his body, it was just a regular button-up school uniform chilling. When it came time to duel, this nigga transformed his whole drip. He was the coolest nigga in the school. Like, I swear, Yugi was sitting at the cool table not because of Yugi, because of Yami Yugi. They was like, why is this little nigga outside? Like, Joey was like, wait, can you bring the other nigga out? Like, that's why we fucked with you. Because of that other nigga. Like, can you bring him out? That's why we friends. Notice that they did a little mark on their hands. I'm just putting this out there. The mark don't show up when Yugi out. It only show up when Yami Yugi is out. That's all I'm going to say.
Man,
Leaving it at
Definitely
that, bro.
Yugi like that.
Number one,
let's
drip.
go.
I'll go ahead and say that who I think should have been number one, but she got hoed by being put up against the GOAT so early. Yami Yugi versus Sailor Moon. Okay, and so that was her first fight was against Yami Yugi, which is ridiculous, bro. That's ridiculous. If I was her manager, we have a problem, bro. Because let's be real. All right, MGZ said Akatsuki is the most worn. Sure, it's the most worn out by like anime fans in the public, absolutely. But the most worn is absolutely the Sailor Moon outfit. You can't and not see outfit. I've been to conventions and not seen an Akatsuki robe. Sailor Moon really out here, you feel me? And like,
That's fair.
she was representing for the women because Erza show the fuck wasn't. And I think that those are the top two. But unfortunately, she got scheduled against the GOAT. Need I say more? It's his belt. The drip crazy, bro.
Belts on top of belts, bro. He said, I'm going to make this work. Well, all you got is some belts? Don't worry about it. I got you.
My nigga Yugi, was it Gramps? Said my nigga Yugi wasn't gonna win.
Right, it was great.
Said he was dripless. I was like, was you watching 4K?
What?
Honestly, like I saw something, but I didn't think homie was really gonna take the W until I actually started like checking out some other picks and like the one we used for the tournament. I was like, ooh, yeah, okay. I kind of got converted when I saw that. I was like, ooh, yikes. No, big
Any
ups.
nigga that ever just wear his coat over him like it's a cape. Yami. Gotta be.
Big fact.
But but before, like when the tournament first started though, I'm not gonna lie, I thought it was gonna be between Erza and Best Genius. Like real talk. Cause Erza just got the fits, right? And like every time she needed to fight, she looked good. To be honest with you, I mean, like all her fits were on point. Like I don't even like the super obscure, only like, hey, this makes me swim like 2 times as fast. Like it didn't matter. The point is that every time she needed something, She looked good doing it. And I was like, ooh, okay. I low-key kind of see this W. And then Best Genius, it was just, I don't know. I mean, there's just something about Best Genius that it just screams drip, you know?
So those are your two?
To,
I mean,
to
yeah,
all
to
the
be
people
honest.
who were hating on Best Genius, and is canonically the only person canonically in his world the best drip nigga. You know what I'm saying? So like,
I will say that.
bring all of them into the real world. He beat Fly, bro. Made.
I will say
Y'all
that,
not here.
yeah. I would say that Best Genius does need more respect. He will be in my top 5 for sure. Because, I mean, when have you ever seen somebody rock a full denim fit like that and still be drippy, bro?
Right.
Like, he turned, like, even Bakugo had to conform to this nigga's drip. That's wild to me.
He made Bakugo
That's
pick
wild.
a superhero name.
Right.
About that.
So no, I honestly I saw it. Like I had to get the first round because like scheduling. But like as far as like final two, if it was just like an all out brawl, I could see that. Urza and
Okay.
Best Genius, man.
Juice, who you got? Who were your top 2?
I mean, top 2 is like, I don't know. Yami's number 1 for sure. Nigga got, like you said, belts. He got a gold chain. Shit.
Right?
The drip was
Got the
there.
gold chain, bro.
I mean,
And
So-
pull out the turtleneck from time to time, bro. Come on.
Drippiest nigga out there, bro. Who you got for number 2 though?
He said he was.
Nigga was just riding hard for Shishomaru.
That's true.
Nah, he's trash.
Damn.
Damn, you ain't fucking with the fur?
Yeah, what about the boa, bro?
I mean, I told y'all I don't like any Rasha, nigga.
This nigga had the fur.
Me and Pete over here, nigga. He killing animals, bro.
Andre on the furs. He probably got that from his own demon tail, bro. He probably based
Oh,
that
that's
from his
some
own
facts.
shit.
I mean, like, homie is a dog, literally. So, fuck.
I don't know. Second might have to go Akatsuki, maybe. But Best Genius, yeah, I don't know. I'm going Akatsuki because, like you said, they the only niggas actually wear that shit in real life. So
You could low key convince a loose nigga that don't know nothing about Naruto to rock some Akatsuki drip, as long as he's not gang affiliated.
That red cloud hit different.
That's
As
true.
long as he's not gang affiliated. If he's gang affiliated, he ain't rocking none of that red shit. But the fucking, you know what I mean? The blue, the clouds and shit. Yeah, for sure.
Real world, they
Yeah.
the cloud design
What-
clean.
What I did want to call out was some disappointments here, and the other part one of the ones I wanted to call out is that I know we said Dio when we were deciding this, but he's not the drippiest JoJo, in my personal opinion. I felt like we did the JoJo's fans a disservice because there's so much drip in JoJo's. I feel like, yeah, Dio with the shoes is hard, the little hearts or whatever. But Giorno, like, I'm not saying Giorno's the best,
I will
but
rock
Giorno
Giorno,
compared to
man.
Dio, he's pretty hard.
With the heart in
You-
the chest, we should have did.
I'm
Giorno.
telling
No,
even
I mean,
even
don't forget,
Bujarati with the zippers all
bro,
over
we
the
were already
place.
talking about this. We said that Dio was the best medium because the JoJo's deserved their own tournament by themselves.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
coming soon. That's
So
coming
we
soon.
knew. We
Just
good.
thinking
In my head, I was like, bro, there's just entirely too much drip in JoJo's, but Dio do got the biggest name. Like, if anybody's
Right.
gonna be known by name, it's probably him.
Yeah, because I honestly think in the JoJo's tournament, he's gonna be the first out very soon. He could be one of the first out.
Butaraki definitely making it to the top.
Look, Golden Wind alone might be able to take the
past his
dub.
body, bro.
Right? Yeah, dog.
I want to two people that didn't get no love, but I want to say this right now. I see the Fujoshi fan base is still because
Oh, 100%.
by
Oh yeah,
110%
he wrote.
Inuyasha fanboys and girls.
Yep.
That's what
like
it is.
Wow.
He carried nostalgia on his back. Lucky.
Oh yeah.
he's gonna act
Like kill with it. The white tee. It's a whole song called "In My White Tee." Yeah. Y'all was just being disrespectful.
Really?
Everybody on this podcast
Really?
was wearing a white tee before.
Wow.
Your white tee. I nigga some credit.
And he had some switch ups on the fit too.
Yeah.
He had some variations.
That's true.
Yeah, but he went up against Akatsuki. That's why. That's why he took that L.
Some people
For
have
the
the fucked
culture
up
to-
matchups. If Killua went against
100%.
Dio, he made it to round 2 against Dio.
Right.
You think? I don't know, man.
I think he would have killed
It's like
Dio.
it's me, Dio. Like
You can't
Charlie,
beat
it's the
classic
shoes that
white
niggas
team, bro.
fuck with. There's a TikTok of this nigga trying to stomp a bug with the Dio shoes, and since it's like pointy at the end, he can hit the corners. So you know how like in regular shoes you can't really get that
Yeah.
tip of the corner. So his shit, he was just like, yeah, these motherfuckers. No, bro, it's the shoes. All right, so that was the best drip,
Dio shoe first.
right? Any other closing comments on the best drip? All right. If not, we could jump straight up into this manga. So, where do we want to start? My Hero or Black Clover?
I gotta
Show
drop.
some respect.
All right.
What's up?
See,
Oh, dude.
Please.
All right then, dudes.
I just put some respect. Bro, that man crazy. He's strong.
Oh,
I
Big fact.
actually consistency the entire time we've been seeing this dude spells like Neil.
thank you.
I thought you were about to say.
Thank
all
you
these
for
things.
saying it.
All this shit. My nigga popped out and was like, the first thing he said, it wasn't nothing.
He
He was
didn't-
like, yo, you
he didn't
niggas is
even say
standing
it.
up too much around
Yeah.
me, bro. I don't like that.
Bro, I absolutely love that, bro. I'm so glad that you called that out because I was gonna say it. The fact that we've been seasoning Presence of the Demon King and each like Dante been spamming it, motherfucking even Morris used it, and then to see what it's actually made to do and how casually he used it was like just a statement of how powerful this nigga really was. Because they had to really focus. They could only use it on 3 niggas. That whole area bowed down like and blacked
Right.
out at the same time. Like I was
Everybody.
like, yo, that was some real
and
shit.
like I just found it just so clean, the delivery, because my man didn't go Presence of the Demon King, none
No.
of that. He literally was like, bro, why are y'all standing up around me? Like he was truly confused, like, why is everybody not
I'm
on their
telling
knees
you.
right now? This don't make sense.
Right. Yo, that was good. I'm liking Lucifero a lot. I am actually like, if they beat him in this one, I mean, I don't see how they're not like I don't see how the story can move forward if they don't beat him in this one because he
exactly.
seems like he's really on that. But I thought they might have tried to find a way to like not have to fight him now.
That's not gonna work.
But it looks like that's not gonna happen. The other thing I will call out though, Mara Leona, bro.
There it is.
She is not playing, bro. She's not playing. She's got up like 3 or 4 times. Like I get it, the other captains got up, but he's like low key telling you who he respects. Nazel, he like just was like, bitch, get out my face. And Nazel ass was knocked out. Fuego Leon dropped. Mara Leona not get the fuck up. Not get the fuck up. Not get. She's participating in every like attack that they try to do on this nigga after having actually fought a big ass demon, bro.
Have y'all seen like the level of respects Lucifero put on you? It's levels to the shit.
Oh,
like
yeah.
if you don't matter, if you're high demon level and lower, which is an amazing feat, right? Like,
Right.
oh, this dude high demon level. He could kill a high rank demon. If you're that level and lower, he doesn't even look at you when you do magic. Bro. He don't even acknowledge you exist. You just threw some shit away from him, and you're a buzzing fly, if that. Now I'm talking, you one of the strongest characters ever in the series. He might look at you, bro.
Right.
But this is how you know my boy, Asta, and the GOAT who should have won Big Nigga of the Year, Mary
dude,
Leone,
so
about
good.
that action. Because them the only niggas where he like, yo, you're annoying me. I acknowledge you exist and you pissing me
Oh
off.
my god.
Mary Leone about that action. Fuego Leon, up the
I'm
salamander.
telling you. I'm telling you.
We see what we needed,
Oh,
bro.
you finally see it, bro. Because I was like, they're not showing the shit from this nigga Fuego Leon, bro. I do not see why he has a salamander at all. At all. I
We've
think.
seen them side by side now. There is no more speculation.
Right.
We need that.
It's true.
I'm telling you,
the
I think
salamander.
Mary
Nah, I
Leona
haven't
is
been-
becoming the salamander. That might be why that nigga did enjoy, bro. She her own. That salamander's like, I can't do nothing to help that girl. She alright.
I was
Her fire's getting hotter. Like he was literally like, this bitch shit keep getting warmer, bro.
How
Like,
she hotter than the fire spirit?
right?
Ain't he
Like,
fire? You feel me? Like
he's like, I fought a fire demon before. Like I fought Nama and Lilith, bro. But like this bitch fire is getting hotter. I think, bro.
he's way stronger than a person whose fire can burn concepts.
Yup.
You feel me? That's why I'm like, bro, she up there now. Like based on what we know about the hierarchy, she could definitely burn a concept.
Yup. She get there for sure. For
Ooh,
sure.
Golion, we need that.
Up it,
You're-
it, bro.
you're
The captains
removed
were
from purpose.
were a damn shame.
Oh, yeah.
They were pretty pitiful. I feel like I don't know if this is like seasoning that they're gonna try and get William and Yami in this battle somehow to like move it forward towards conclusion. But like it seems like outside of Mary Leona, their little help that they're putting here and there, the captains really aren't doing anything but buying like half a second of time. It looks like.
You know who I want to say probably feel really fucking salty right now?
Oh,
Mimosa. Remember when she used all that magic to bring Gaja back to life?
mm-hmm. Should have done
I
that.
bet
for
you wish she
Asa.
had that for Asa
Yeah.
right now.
Oh yeah,
Like,
that
you
would
know
have,
what I would be thinking? Like, damn, I really brought that bum ass nigga back to life.
and that would have got her in too. That would have solidified her ass,
Yep.
bro.
I'd have been like, damn, I could have ended all this if I didn't say that bum
I'm
ass.
telling you. But yeah, no, I'm interested in this fight. I'm still very, very curious about who this other motherfucking demon is that's just
Yeah.
like chilling, bro. They keep showing him, haven't given him a name, and he just be talking shit. Oh, y'all still
But-
fighting?
And as
I don't
far as
think
we're
that
seeing, he's
nigga
the only
matters.
one who came out with Lucifero, right? Like it's literally just him, right?
That's the
think
second
so.
level demon, though, right? So we know that nigga individually stronger than Lilith and Nama. Probably not stronger than Lilith and Nama combined, which means, like, sure, this nigga's strong, but Asta could one-shot this nigga out of existence in demon mode. Like,
Well, I mean,
so
that's
I think that this nigga is so insignificant around the presence of Lucifero that it just wouldn't make sense to fight.
but
Oh,
that's
so
why
you
it's
don't think they're
interesting,
fighting
though.
him at all? You think he's just gonna be a nigga that's out there for a while?
I mean, at least in my opinion, is that he's just simply not there because of fighting. That's why he's so interesting. So it's like it's literally a huge question mark. You know what I mean? It's literally like, why is he there? Because Lucifero's out. He's obviously the big target. When Lucifero gets dropped, there should be no one left. So the only thing that would make sense to me right now is that he's simply just a plot device for the next step after Lucifero gets dropped. Because
Like, do
right
you
now,
think
I mean, I'm
plot
just trying to
device-
think like what?
Do you think plot device in the sense of like he's gonna be another fight, or he's gonna move the story into like its next arc, or like
Right.
another demon related thing?
Nah, the arc. Because I mean, I feel like if Lucifero gets dropped, continuing anything demon related, to be honest, would be kind of silly. Other than power progression of Asta, but I mean, Lucifero's the DK, so it's like
I see this nigga as like, so he's been striking me as very neutral, right? Like in the way he showed up in the story. So like, I don't think he's gonna help yet, but I feel like his introduction means he's going to be on the, because he showed up so neutral, he will eventually be on the hero side. I just don't know in what way, form, or fashion yet. My hope is that he pairs with some of these mage niggas. I don't know which one yet. But I don't feel like he's gonna be an outright villain at all. Like
Yeah, I don't think
they would have made
fight
him
him.
stronger.
right. He seems way too neutral to do so. But I don't know what his intentions are,
He
and that's
might
why it's
chill.
annoying.
Cause like, let's be fair. If that nigga chill and he just like, oh, bro, I just live here now. Like the Black Bulls are too nice of a group to be like, let's kill him because he a demon.
Right.
They just like, oh, I guess this very, very, very powerful demon live here now.
That's what
Like,
I'm
don't
saying.
fuck
I'm like,
around, nigga. Like,
exactly. And then it's also like, you know, they kind of already are accepting people with demon relationships. Like there's niggas who's gonna be mad, right? Like Judge nigga, but like, what is
But
he
you
gonna
know
do
what?
about it? Yeah, like,
nobody but
go
us
fight him then.
1v1 this nigga.
Right, that's what I mean. If Judge niggas started complaining, oh, you guys letting demon, go fight him.
He,
Go ahead, fight him,
he's
bro.
letting you know where he at.
Yeah, you can go get him. No, no, I'm not going with you, but yeah, go ahead.
Damn, that's your body.
I'm not stopping
Nigga.
you.
He hit them scales. I'll take all that power. Thanks. Damn, Naruto really should be on the front lines. Like, I don't know if he's considered arcane stage, but if you could train him up to like arcane stage, or at least give him like the ultimate magic, then Nashio would have been a extremely strong person to have. Like, based on what they showed this nigga do
That's true.
in the little filler, I'm like,
Yeah.
get your ass on that filler.
But he's sitting at home doing nothing.
Doing
Then that's the other thing. Do you think maybe he's tied to the missing brother, the mysterious demon?
that demon.
Scales, buddy?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Nah.
Because we still don't know who this missing brother is. And I really feel like they're not going to end this arc without giving us some closure or hint to who this was. Because, like, what was the point of introducing him if we just going to pretend he don't exist no more? You know what I mean?
That's true.
So I'm like, I don't know.
I
No,
trust
it's a
this
good
nigga.
point. But I mean, we needed, to be honest, as a series, we needed questions like these to just keep the story going.
Yeah.
I mean, because like we just need that mechanism as far as like the next arc goes. Because we could argue from the beginning of Black Clover that the demons were like the overall end villain.
100%. And that's why I'm like, I don't know what the fuck
dropped,
this is.
it's now like question marks.
And I thought we were almost concluded with, like, I was even more surprised that they let Lucifero out. I thought we were going to kind of, like, stop there. But then when he came out, I'm like, oh, now you guys are really, like, you guys are going Dragon Ball Z level with how you're going to build this power system. Because you forcing them to be Lucifero is going to be a big statement for one or multiple people. It has to be. I mean, you beat the King of Demons. Like, where the fuck do y'all go from here, you know?
And Asta only 16, you feel me?
Right.
He grown.
Right, and the work him and Yuno put in, like, compared to the captains, like, there's going to be a lot of questions coming back home. Like, the Black Bull Power Rangers put in almost captain level work, too. Like,
it
so
really could go so much further, because if we just look at Dragon Ball, Lucifero is, I would say, analogous to Demon King Piccolo. The way the niggas coming out is very similar. Like, yo, this nigga untouchable, except by, like, sacrificing your life to kill this nigga. Then Goku beat him, and you like, oh, where'd he go from? Oh, very easy. That nigga was actually bitch made.
Right.
Like,
did you know Yami was actually the weakest person from where he's from? Like,
he was a fisherman, not a trained swordsman. You know what
right?
I mean? Yami's actually bitch made out here. Like,
right.
they got angels, gods, and then the dryads
Dwarves.
prove that they're like gods, right? They got all types of stuff. Dwarves, like you said. And if dwarves exist, what about giants?
Yep.
Man, yeah. And it seemed like they going off Norse mythology. So we got Valhalla. There's all types of stuff they could do.
Oh, yeah. There's definitely, like, a lot of layers for this to go into the next direction. It's just, like, what statements are we going to make after we beat Lucifero? So, like, where is the power system going to lie after that's done? And then what's next? Those are, like, my biggest things. Because, like, the word demon, like, pretty much after they defeated him, you could say they pretty much resolved the Clover Kingdom storyline. Because the Clover Kingdom's big thing was that whole, like, not necessarily the word demon, but that big old demon coming back and doing some shit or whatever. So I feel like they kind of resolved whatever the fuck's going on with the Clover Kingdom. And then this Spade Kingdom thing just got introduced from left field. So I really am interested to see where they're going to take it. That's pretty much where I'm at with it. Like, I'm surprised this fight's still going on, but
yes, they want to make a real movie of it.
I'm telling you.
Because I'm like, bro, if the movie don't go from, I mean, it has to, because where they stopped was right when Asta learns Devil Union. So the movie is going to go from Asta pulling up with Devil Union to this. That's not that much if you think of it in the terms of the movie.
You could definitely do a movie because, like, Magna's own thing could be its real contained, like, 15-minute scene, 10-minute scene in a movie. Like, it does not have to be that long.
Added extra animation. I want to see them really have Magna work.
Oh, yeah.
Bro. Like,
oh, yeah. Because it builds to that climax. Like, this whole arc is really, like, you know, you can definitely condense it down in a movie. I feel that. Like, from landing, all the little fights that went on, there wasn't too many. and then they were all fairly quick. So really, it's just the animation to hype those up, and then closing that off with this Lucifero battle. I I think that could be decent. At least to give people closure until they're ready to start the anime again. I feel like this is what the anime only niggas need to see. At least to give them some like
The
something
anime
to
only
argue
niggas
more
don't
with the
know
other
what's going
motherfuckers.
on.
That's true.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all I got on Black Clover. Any other like call outs for that? Or interesting topics y'all want to discuss
No.
as it relates to Black Clover?
gonna say
Yeah, I
is
just
that
got
no-
a in general question is like, where do y'all think Black Clover is heading towards? Like, what do they do after this? Like, so I got two big questions that I wonder, right?
Mhm.
Question one, after this ends, is the king of a nation. Surely he won't just be like, fuck responsibility, you know what I'm saying? I'm about to go be a Magic Knight.
Or
That's
Willie.
one issue. Second issue, I wonder, is Liebe, right? Like, we know that, like, oh, how is the strongest demon determined? Well, that's determined by whichever nigga whoop a nigga.
Yeah, right.
Liebe, if this nigga kills Lucifer, like,
He's
did he
technically
just
up
whoop
there.
that nigga?
Yeah.
Do we now have another king who has to go rule some shit? You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
The Clover Kingdom. These niggas clearly saw Julius Novachrono turn to a 13-year-old in front of their eyes.
Right.
What the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Diamond Kingdom. Them niggas been in some shit, and they last little leader after all they wild shit just happened, just had his forehead turned into a demon and got packed out by some black bulls. So it's like we got a whole bunch of leaderless to new leaderless nations
Yeah.
going around here. I think either they gonna have to combine and coalesce, and then that's gonna lead into an external nation, threatening their sovereign borders.
Right.
Those are the
FT
storylines that I
timeline.
think are coming up next.
No, I
Yeah,
think
I-
that's completely fair. It could pretty much follow the FT timeline almost exactly if you think about it in a sense, where it's like the whole nation literally has to come out of whole to defeat the next threat, which would make sense, especially because of the power scale, because they have to continuously do that for like literally any kind of shonen or battle anime in the first place.
Right.
So it's like, how do you get stronger than Lusa effing Pharaoh? You get a whole effing nation of like Lusa effing pharaohs or something like
Right.
that. So like you're gonna get the whatchamacallit, what do they call themselves? The Spriggan 12, like in FT. Just a whole bunch of strong mother effers, which is gonna require everyone getting big up because of how many characters are now literally insignificant as far as power, which is sad to say, but we're pretty much talking about the whole Clover captains, more or less.
And that's what's like weird to me because it's like, all right, I'm trying to pull up the map right now. So it just looks like the Clover Kingdom is pretty much a giant island, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Boy, are you talking about the Clover Kingdom?
sorry,
or
not the
actual
Clover
land
Kingdom.
itself, like the whole
Yeah,
deck
with
land.
all the card kingdoms.
Right,
There's
right.
like three, and it seems to basically be some sort of an island with this rift in between. I'm just like very. I'm just like, yo, this demon thing seems to be such a big threat to this part of the world. If the world is bigger, what threats are out there in terms of like not only just a nation, but like why did the demons care so much about this piece of land if the world was so big? You know what I mean? Like what would be next for Lucifero if he won this battle? You know what I mean? I felt like it wouldn't stop there, right? Like if the world is big.
True.
So I'm very curious. I think I align with like Player 5's theory of like they're probably gonna do some sort of fusion of a nation type thing, and then a bigger threat comes up. But I feel like how I felt when I watched like Seven Deadly Sins, where like when each arc ended, I was like, y'all really could end the story here, or you guys could go somewhere else. But I have no clue where somewhere else is right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm excited about that. I think that's actually good story writing because it's like
True.
whatever they introduce, I'm like, huh? Oh, okay. And like, where are the witches in that still in that world? Like
Yeah.
Vanessa's clan,
Yeah.
they're in that same area,
Witches
right?
Forest.
There,
Okay.
yeah. I think
The
it's
Witches
like,
Forest is on the border of like, or no, I think it's actually like right inside of that, the little, the rift place with all the wild shit in it.
Oh,
That
okay.
makes sense.
So in there somewhere like near People's, the Witches Forest. I think that they new capital gonna be Hodge Village. They gonna turn that into the capital because it's right in
Yeah,
the middle of
okay.
this big ass landmass.
Mm.
They
You
ain't gonna
know.
do that. That'd be wild. I'd be very surprised. 'Cause, I mean,
Yeah.
I still feel like that whole social economic prejudice is still there. So if they end up doing that, that'd be mad interesting. But the king
I
is still
mean,
alive,
so
right?
we have people the from every ounce of the kingdom are fucking with Asa, right? Basically, you
Mm.
got all the people that matter: the head of House Silver, head of House Vermilion, and then like all of their kids fuck with
Right.
you. The only nigga you have to try and convince is King Kira Clover, where it's like,
Who's a
look, nigga,
dumbass?
right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he could be finessed, especially once the whole city do. I think
Yeah.
they got the clout and enough turmoil to fix shit together, right? Because
Mm.
we could just easily be like, well, Undyne is with, um, what's that bitch? Silver chick.
Yeah.
Noel, and we were like, oh well, it's president that the person who's with the water spirit is our heart queen. We could
Mm.
easily say, well, she's already royal. Let's make her the heart queen. Most of the kingdom fuck with her. You know what I'm saying? Like it's already set up to be like, let's bring these niggas together. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? The Diamond Kingdom has been destroyed, but some of their strongest mages and
Fuck with
smartest
Asta.
people all fuck with Asta heavy. You
Yeah.
know,
Mm.
it's
But
just
see,
like,
that's
go ahead.
my thing on it is just like that next level. So like if they do fuse, my thing is that the Clover Kingdom runs so deep in terms of like the characters we know and the powers, and he didn't build that for the other areas. Maybe you could argue the Diamond King, but like the strongest niggas in the Spade Kingdom, dead. They got shitted on, and then the Heart Kingdom, he made them look like bum bitches. Besides Gaja, and even Gaja is still kind of like, eh. So I feel like if we do a coalition, there's gonna be another arc of like, oh, let's make these like let's build up the power
Everybody,
systems in these other areas so that it all like we're not always pulling from the Clover Kingdom in these fights.
yeah. And I mean, I think that's easy to do. We've seen in the Black Clover world that all you have to do to get powerful is either A, find a new system that can
Mhm.
rapidly increase your power, or B, grind really fucking hard for a couple days and then
Right.
get powerful.
For a couple
You
days.
know what I'm saying? So like, I have no issue with building niggas up to whatever level you need. Like, I
Right.
watch niggas go from I can't even compete with a demon to being able to box Lucifero in
Yeah.
3 days. Literally 3 days they train to fight Lucifero. So if Asta can go from not
That's
being able
fair.
to be the demon to boxing with Lucifero,
Yeah.
anybody can do it, bro. Just hard work.
Yeah, we're entering Dragon Ball Z level, Toriko level of hype and scale after
That's
this
true.
arc. That's all I'm gonna say.
You're
Like
right.
that's gonna be crazy. Because the real question I'm gonna have is, so like with the word demon, do you guys feel like that fight is still difficult for them as they are now? Like how many niggas
Oh,
you
to
feel they
who?
need? How many niggas or what niggas do you feel like they need? If the word demon came back like, yeah, I'm starting some more bullshit. Who do you think they need to handle? And do you think it's like
I think
basically
it
if you
goes
had to
the
pick a
exact
team of
same.
niggas, huh?
Like, okay, I'm thinking if the same people went in to fight them but boosted to their power levels now,
Yeah.
I think the fight goes the exact same. And that argument being
Okay.
that if you don't have the specific power to kill a demon, you
Yeah.
can't hurt the word demon. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
I
And nobody changed to arcane level besides like two niggas.
I mean, so Yami got the sword slice, right? And then Asta got Devil Union. I guess what I'm saying is, do you think they need the same amount of people to win? Because I mean, we still gonna need Asta and Yami to beat him. I
Hmm.
agree with that. I just am like, it was also still tough for everyone around. Also, you know what I mean? Where now I don't feel like where they're at and having fought demons before, they need as many people as they need. They needed the entire Clover Kingdom to
Hmm.
kind of catch this dub. Where now I feel like five niggas, including the two you definitely need, is probably good enough to
See,
take out the
I
word
don't
demon.
think they needed the whole kingdom. I feel like the whole kingdom, the reason there was a grip of niggas there was to stop the elves. Then when
Right.
the
Yeah.
demon came out, it was just a bunch of niggas like, I can't hurt this nigga. And Yami and Asta really just handled that nigga. So like I feel like it doesn't
Okay.
change. Like you still gonna have the same niggas. It's probably just gonna be Yami and Asta
Mm-hmm.
because none of these niggas affect demons except for the few people that learn like ultimate magic. So now you would be in a situation where, yes, I think Tito could be like, oh, y'all can stay home, bro. I'm going to go kill this word demon. And like that could be a real thing. Like Tito might actually erase that nigga. But if you send his brother, who officially been moved to bum ass nigga, you send that bum ass nigga for Goleon, he ain't going to be able to do shit.
So do you think like, so of all the people we know that can't handle demons, right? You said it's people with ultimate magic, Asta, Yami, right? Mm-hmm. If you're thinking about the word demon from that list of
and
people,
Spirit Dives. But yeah.
Oh, sorry, Spirit Dives, but like,
Noel.
Yeah. So Noel, Asta, Yami, right? Is that it? Is there anybody else?
There are a few other zero stage niggas like Sekirei, but let's not count her.
Okay, so of those 4, do you feel like one of them can handle word demon, or you still need all of them?
Oh, just one.
Okay,
One of them niggas with the ability to kill a demon, I think definitely could body that nigga.
So the way I felt before with the word demon fight is even if they had those abilities, their skill level was still that you needed multiple people to like actually tango with this nigga. Do you get what I mean? Like I didn't feel like just because you had Asta you would win. I felt like if Asta at that time having the ability to still kill this nigga, win against him 1v1, he'd still get dropped. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Did you feel that way back then?
I felt different because I didn't feel Asta ever had a chance. I thought the chance was Yami, and I think Yami bodied that nigga. Mm-hmm. Like, I think that Yami was strong enough to body that nigga then and is now. So it's a little hard for me to see it. But then when I look at other niggas, like let's take a nigga that had no chance, Tito. Tito had no chance before. Now I think Tito could box that nigga solo dolo and win.
Okay.
So yes, I think niggas have gotten stronger, but the niggas who still do not have the ability to kill a demon, they stronger, but it's not gonna matter.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that aspect of it. I'm just trying to think from a Lucifero standpoint after they beat this nigga, if it's gonna feel as easy as it feels now. Because to me, he's still like, there's a bunch of niggas who like Asta can take him out, but he doesn't actually have the physical abilities right now to do it. So if Lucifero came back,
Lucifero.
Right. So I'm like,
the scale.
So if Lucifero came back, he's still getting folded as we understand him now. I'm thinking after they beat him, will I feel like, oh, Asta could 1v1 Lucifero? I feel like no, still.
No, there's still a gap there, but it's all about the whole, scale increase as the story progresses. Because the biggest thing, like you guys are saying, is just that the whole beating a demon to beat a demon. But how at least I think we're all on the same page as far as looking at this show is that demons aren't going to be as relevant, if relevant or significant at all, past this point. So unless they develop,
I think they will be.
Well, I mean, in the sense of like once.
As a villain.
As far as like continuously now seeing, we're going to go up against a different demon, now another demon, and you got to have this kind of magic to beat a demon. So I'm saying that concept in general should be at least becoming less significant, where it's more about just scale, power, magic, speed, etc., instead of having certain conditions. Which I honestly do it, I guess, but I don't know. It's kind of lame.
I honestly think what the demons introduced though is still going to play a role in the power development of everyone, which is like this ability to work on concepts. I feel like that's still a magic development that needs to happen for most of the important characters. Is getting the ability to where your magic is strong enough to work on concepts. Because I think that that's still an attribute the demons have that is something that can be achieved by everyone else and probably needs to be. Because I think that's probably going to be the next curb. You know what I'm saying? With the next set of niggas, that's probably going to be a default of like, yeah, nigga, I work on concepts and like, that's not new to me.
So this is my thing. I think that we are very, very, very far away from an individual human having comparable power to an upper rank demon. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it just goes as simple as, after this arc, now we have people at an upper rank demon. I think for the next couple arcs, you could have people that are like, there's no way he could beat Lucifero. Why? Because we're only seeing 50% Lucifero. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. True.
That's true. There's still a whole nother Lucifero out there. You feel me? And then on top of that, let's just take Nama and Lilith. If Nama and Lilith were here in place of Lucifero, the fight would be going the exact same way. The only difference is Asta can body that nigga, right? If we get rid of Asta, Nama and Lilith dragging these niggas.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I don't think any of these niggas are like way stronger than Not. And Not got fucking demolished. We already seen Captain Homie got demolished. Couldn't even touch them niggas. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm like, the weakest of the weakest devils are actually so much stronger than all our captains that it's actually a joke that they can even contemplate touching this nigga Lucifero. Right. So I think that we are really, 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 really far. Like really far away. As far as like a Hokage from a Genin away. And there's a lot of space. It would be a shame if they were to just jump everybody up. I was like, bro, we just skipped so much space, like crazy. But I mean, they could. They say fuck it.
I definitely think that for the key characters, they're gonna have to compete. Like Amira Leona is, if she's not on the cusp, she's getting that soon. Like the ability to at least hang out with some demons.
We talking about upper rank demons, we not talking about these bum niggas. So like only like a Gate of Hell ranked demon. Nama and Lilith being the two weakest niggas. You think she could getting close to them?
It's hard. So this is why it's hard for me, because to me what I see is like Yami and Asa's ability, and I think now I'm starting to get why you're speaking the way you're speaking, is like it's more of like a one-trick pony that allows them to defeat the demons. They're not actually on their level, but they have the ability to touch them, which nobody else has. So I feel like giving people the ability to touch them is possible for certain key characters. But it doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to beat them, which is why I say I think Mira Leona is going to get the ability to touch them. Doesn't mean that she could body Lucifero 1v1, but she may be another nigga that is going to be like, hey, you a nigga who, like, your shit work on these niggas, so we going to bring you along, like that type shit.
With that. I would accept that. But I think that our next issue, like we keep theorizing, will be that the Sun Village or whatever, Land of the Rising Sun, will probably be a more physical-based place. Which means, like, honestly, well, Lucifero's strong. Let me not talk on him. The rest of these niggas just really beefy with the magic. Like, you can cut them in half.
Asa's been folding them with the hands for the longest.
Asa gonna get to that point where he like, all right, bro, y'all niggas gonna have to do something because this anti-magic just put me on par with these niggas. We just having a sword battle at this point. Right. You know, so they gonna need somebody.
I feel you. Yeah, I'm interested to see where they're. Why I say that is I do feel like it's not going to be just Asta and Yami that can compete. That's just never how Black Clover has been. They've always shared the ability amongst other motherfuckers. So there's going to be unique ways to tango with these motherfuckers. I just don't know what it is yet. And right now, of what I've seen, Mira Leona is the first person I've seen with like development in battle as far as mages go. Like Noelle trained outside, got that new shit. Mira Leona, it's like, yeah, she trained a little bit, but it seems like she's also developing in this battle, which is like, okay, this is going to be interesting to see where this shit goes. And they don't talk about the books, which is another thing that kind of still pisses me off. Like, they're not really explaining that, but maybe that's going to be the key to getting everybody to that level, is like, oh, your books actually mean some shit, like these spells. You got to spell at the back that does this.
It means some shit for real, because I'm like, bro, I've been looking at Mira Leona ever since she first knocked that demon out and it got back up. They literally been saying like, yo, the longer this bitch fight, the stronger she get. And now we see she had a point where like Lucifero was like, ouch. Like, where did this bitch stop, bro?
Right. I'm telling you.
I don't think there's no stop, bro.
I don't think so either.
She gonna be in here with like the fucking air gear strats. My fire stops time.
And that could be potentially the explanation as to why she doesn't have the salamander. And this is going way out there. It just came to my mind. So this shit could have plenty of holes. But maybe she's not actually a fire mage.
What would she be?
It's something tied to this everlasting energy shit. Something kind of like that you could associate with fire, but at its root isn't really fire, if that makes sense. And I feel like maybe that's why maybe it's an energy thing. Maybe it's something else. But it could be something that they tied to this that's like, oh, and then this explains why she never fucking got the shit. Because she wasn't really a fire mage to begin with. She was this type shit. A lightning mage.
Who knows?
A hellfire
That is
mage,
true,
but yeah.
Infinite energy mage.
But you do
I'm
make a
telling
good
you.
point. I mean, they only really touched as far as the books go and the spells in general. Like the last time I remember actually seeing, oh, I got a new spell. Wasn't it like Yami? Way back when he cut.
They
he
seem
first
to be
got
the
that
only
flag.
two that get new spells,
That's like
and
the
like
that's the only
Yami
time
and
I
Asta.
remember.
I mean, everybody came out with my boy. Don't forget my boy, Painter, homie. He came out with the best spell of the chapter.
See, but like, and then this be my problem. Is like the books seem to have spells, but the way the spells get used don't seem to be from the books. Like the way he used that spell didn't seem like it was revealed to him. It seemed like he created it. Does that make sense? That's the way I felt like it came through, and that's what bothers me because I'm like, okay, so what the fuck is the point of these books? Like y'all not getting the spells from the books.
I think it because I mean, but they also say the way the books work is kind of like on that and give you the spell you need at the time. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like when Noelle was like, "Damn, I can't harm people." It
Yeah.
was like, well, what if you had this dragon that went and found them for you?
Mhm.
Here's your dragon spell. You know what I'm saying? Like, them books be on.
But I mean,
paper.
but that's kind of the issue, though, right? Because I mean, if that's how they're created, then why not just create the premise of you can create your own spells? It's like, what's the point of the books? In that
See,
sense?
I think they're like, yo, we're about to use these magic spells they gain purely to move the plot forward, and we're accepting and acknowledging this is that plot bullshit. But I'm gonna write it in the book so that at least niggas don't say we trying to cap. We got it right here. It's that bullshit.
Right.
It's part of their show.
No, it's true. It's like hockey and willpower. It's like, no, I feel you. It's definitely selling some bullshit. All I would say is that part of the reason why it frustrates me, I think, is because I'm very married to Zatch Bell in terms of how that power system with books work. So I like keep like seeing this shit and I keep going to Zatch Bell and I'm like, bro, get a new spell, nigga. Like,
oh, I gotta say this. Interjection. Thank you for bringing up Zatch Bell. So me and the homie looking up Zatch Bell just on some goofy like late night goofing around type shit. And we find that Paco Folgore song.
Yo,
like, hey, so we found the Japanese version.
Horrible,
Not
nasty,
about dancing
at all. It's about boobs, ain't
It's
it?
about groping women's boobs.
Yep.
That's why I said boing, boing. No.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
That's hilarious. It's
yeah.
you get if you have not heard the Japanese version of Parko Fogore's song, you need to hear it. Like
Shout out to my
that nigga. Wow, he need to get canceled, bro. No way he dropping that song in 2021.
He funny, bro.
But that's all.
All right. Let's move on to My Hero, and then do you have something to talk about One Piece? Because I was gonna skip it.
No.
All right. So My Hero. Only two things I want to bring up is I'm still fucking loving the villains. Every time the villains get introduced or we spend some time with them in the story, it's pretty good. I am super disappointed in whatever All Might thought was a fucking plan. I felt like that was a waste of a chapter. He literally sits there and goes, hey, we're going to call all these people into a room. I'm only calling people I trust, though, because this plan is really secret. And then he gets on a whiteboard with two dots, and he draws a circle. He draws a line between the two of the dots, and he goes, our plan is to split them up. And I'm like, so you needed to keep that plan secret from who exactly? Because I feel like most of us thought that was probably what it was going to go down anyways, because that's usually how shonen fights are set up. Like, the niggas are already split up.
What if somebody was like, yo, without your muscles, All Might, you kind of fucking useless, huh?
Right?
That would have been fucking hilarious.
Bro, when I tell you he drew that line with such ferocity, he was like, we're splitting them up. Like, I was like, bro, this is not a major plan, bro. And then meanwhile, they cut to All For One, and this nigga's just like, yo, you know, I got these threads of plans going through. He already trying to season Spinner to be the god of the heteromorphs and shit.
They split me up.
Right? It was so
I didn't see it coming.
like, what the fuck? Bro, I see why All For One lasted this long, because if niggas was coming up with plans like this to take this nigga out, y'all suck. For real. Yeah, that's pretty much how I feel. Like these past few chapters of My Hero have been dragging. I think the only thing we haven't talked about was the traitor reveal, which I thought was good when I thought it was Invisible Girl. And then when I found out it wasn't, I was still like, this is okay. And then they kept building on it, and I was like, no, I don't care anymore.
My issue is that it was good. It just took too long. This would have been a better reveal a little bit earlier in the show,
100%.
a little more tension. And the reason I say that, and I know some people may argue against it, but this is my reason why I say that, is it happened at a point where there was so much drama going on in the world. Like, we literally just got off a bitch dropping 5 nuclear devices on a nigga head.
Oh, right.
And you come back to this, and it's kind of like, yo.
We already thought it wasn't going to happen.
You was like, snitching, but like, my nigga, the world about to end. Can we do something else? Like, that was my thought to him. Like, can you not right now? It's one of those. It's like if you get into a crazy fucking argument, you arguing back and forth with your wife, y'all thinking about leaving each other, and somebody like, yo, the laundry bill is due, or like the TV bill wasn't paid today. And
right, what
like,
the fuck are you talking about? Right.
But so, like, bro, I'm dealing with something. Dog. I was just like, why? Who
That's
cares?
a good point.
Yeah.
That's a very strong point.
It was silly. Timing was off, and then to be honest, I just wanted the traitor to be a full-on traitor in the sense of like they are a villain, not we were forced to do villain-ish because we were trying to top spot. I was like, nah, dude, I want like a toga almost. Like you have been under wraps as a villain, pretending to be a hero this entire time. And then you actually doing mad work for the villain society. And then whenever they find out, you'd be like, whoop, it's a wrap. Maybe body somebody before actually joining the side.
Exactly.
Like that.
Exactly how it's done and shown it most times. A traitor comes out, that nigga's like, yeah, I'm a traitor and I'm fucking evil. You have to go through an arc to save that nigga. It's never no like, oh yeah, you're right. I just did this I'm evil. You gonna have to come find me and bring me back. And I'm bodying a nigga on my way out. That's how a traitor shows up in anime, bro. The way Aoyama showed up, it was like, cool, I get the whole seasoning, but like, it would have been better. I would have fucked with him more if he was like, yeah, I'm on that villain shit. Boom! Like, naval laser the motherfucker, and like, naval laser the Invisible Girl was just like, I'm out this bitch. And dip? Okay, that nigga hard than I thought.
That could have been crazy too, as far as actually seeing that fight happen. Invisible Girl versus Naval Laser after he's like trying to reveal some info to an informant. He's like, crap, got caught. There's like a quick fight. Invisible Girl trying to tell somebody he's a traitor, gets bodied. We finally see her like, fuck, and like you finally see her face and she all bloody or something. That could have been like crazy, dude.
Tell you.
Yeah, I feel like that it could have personally though that opening or reveal was like my second favorite. I wanted it to be revealed how it was, in that the person was doing it against their will, and the only reason is because consistency with how they built All For One, being that like they was like, yo, this is the shit he did. He would like move quirks around, and niggas will owe him. He built his shit basically like a big ass mob boss. Like niggas owe me favor.
Overhaul.
And so I'm like, okay, I fuck with that. Like a nigga owe him a favor. Cool. But the thing is how they delivered it. They delivered it at the same type of tone space where you deliver a nigga being like, ha, I'm evil the whole time. It's like, bro, nobody got time for that. Y'all should have revealed that at a height of the story where everybody's happy, everybody feeling good. Then you drop them with the like, yeah, nah, nigga, my nigga was on that.
100%.
All this shit is ruined because of him.
Right.
You know? True. It was just too much, bro. It felt like I'm getting real Naruto vibes of where, like, they just packed in everything in, like, the last little arc to try and get it over with. And it's like, bro, this should have been spread out or done different, and it's why.
Right. And the only people who are getting good pacing to me are the villains, which, like, I had this discussion, like, last weekend when I did that, like, TikTok live stream, but, like, what's making me feel better about this is instead of looking at it as My Hero Academia, I'm still looking at it as like we're still in My Villain Academia. So I'm looking at it as the perspective of like he's really spending the time developing the villains and making them look important and all this stuff. Whereas normally in this, like in the shonen space, all this stuff is given to the main characters. Because like Spinner's now being groomed. Like I don't know why Spinner is so important to the author, but like Spinner's being groomed to now be this like king of the heteromorphs and shit. And I'm just like, I hope that they take that opportunity because with the villains we really get to see the world, but like they never bring that to the heroes. I'm like, this nigga's a heteromorph. It's supposed to be so bad, so racist. Why have we never heard Tokoyami, the nigga with 6 arms, Ojiro? None of these heteromorphs have ever talked about the racial discrimination, the problems they've experienced being heteromorphs, or any of that shit. They've been dead ass silent. But every time you look at Spinner, it's like just looking kind of weird is going to destroy your whole career in the fucking hero society. And I'm like, huh?
The way that we see it from the hero's perspective is as if that's just not true, and this nigga got to be
right. They gaslighting the fuck out of them.
Yeah.
Like, no, that never happened. It never beat you. What? Gaslighting this nigga. Like,
and then I'm like, all right, you could make the argument like, oh, don't nobody come for them niggas because they like super popular people. I'll be like, all right, nigga. So what about fucking grape juice?
right.
Nobody he just made it the whole time.
I'm like, yo, they tripping. The people in class B, 1B,
Right.
they're heteromorphs in there too. Yeah.
Nobody know class B. That's the running gag.
Right.
So like, come on, bro. Even they good.
I'm telling you, and they haven't been taking enough opportunity to me on the hero side, showing that other heroes are doing shit. Like we got one panel of Sun Eater and Nijire out there doing some battle shit, and I was like, thanks for showing that some heroes are out here actually fighting crime. Because y'all make it seem like everybody's sitting in UA on their hands.
We got niggas in the top 10 who are heteromorphs or hetero whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
It's just like it's hard for me to believe that they are discriminated against when popularity is what controls most of the top 10 ratings, and we got multiple Gang Orca, Hawks,
Right.
fucking, you know what I'm saying, a Dragon Lady. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Like,
And Gang Orca, that's an ugly nigga. Like Hawks, you could be like, oh, he's pretty, you know, he just got wings and shit. That's his deformity. But Gang Orca is like
It's
a
a
literal orca walking around doing shit, bro. Like,
Laundry Hero Wash got a washing body for a body.
yeah, like, what is going on here? To me, I'm like, they,
Keeping it clean.
Back, bro.
right. And then even like with it signaling to other stuff, like, you know, when I read My Hero Academia, I just have to think about my superhero experience. And this brings me, the heteromorph thing specifically, brings me to that beautiful arc that they did in the X-Men Teenage series with Spike, and how like when his powers started going under control, he had to go underground with the mutants where their shit is really fucked up. Like that type shit, I'm like, you guys have an opportunity to like go there with it, and then you just like, well, we'll make it sort of a thing, or we'll just never talk about it. And that shit kind of bothers me about My Hero, when they just they want to put in these like world building plot points, and then it seems like they're never gonna touch on them. And then he does these weird things like bringing up the traitor when everybody forgot about it to make you think, oh yeah, we might touch on those things. But I feel like no.
I'm like, man, My Hero is drop worthy. Only reason I'm gonna continue is because they said they almost finished, and it's the same deal with any long shonen. And you 300 chapters in, you might as well go ahead, bro.
Right.
Go ahead and knock that out.
But niggas are still writing it like this shit is dope. I'm like,
I
am not
I
seeing
know a
it.
few. I'm like, look, bro, I don't get it.
Me either. And I can buy the whole, because they've been really seasoning this Aoyama and Eraserhead connection, because like Eraserhead kind of has a similar story with that dude that was their friend but ended up getting used as a gnome or whatever the fuck. Like, I get it. I can see the connection. So I don't want people to think I'm out here just saying that shit. So I just don't think that they hit. Like, I see the little symbolisms he's doing. I just feel like they're either bad timing or just don't resonate with me.
Them fucking with that nigga is bullshit. If he'd have been like, yo, once all the shit hit the fan, I start snitching, acceptable. Shit hit the fan, society as you know it changed. I couldn't blame no person for acting irrational. My man was like, nigga, society was chilling. All Might was still out there knocking niggas out, and I was snitching on y'all ass. I was like, bro, All Might was on the job, and you was snitching? Come
Oh,
on.
so they go into that storyline in Vigilantes. Whatever
No.
happened with Eraserhead?
Oh yeah. They talk about that. I'm talking about with Aoyama bitch ass.
Oh yeah.
Where Eraserhead homie, nah, he just he died saving somebody. They did go into it in
Okay.
Vigilantes. He died saving people. He went out like a real hero. His quirk was dope too. He could make like clouds like Wukong clouds, and he could float on them and shit like Goku
Oh
and
no.
shit.
Did he have a
Yeah,
staff?
it had a little
Oh
stick
yeah.
too. Yep. He was cold. And his hair was like made out of clouds too.
Oh, that's decent.
So yeah, he was like, I was like, this nigga would have made money, bro. He'd been a cold ass hero.
Right?
Instead, no move.
he turned into a butler instead. That's unfortunate. But yeah, to me, I'm just disappointed. Like you said, I think if someone said, "Oh, I'm dropping my hero right now," I wouldn't trip. I'm just sticking with it because it's there. But like once again, these fan bases, like I'm really sick and tired of anime fan bases and their ability to not see flaws in their series. Like
There's no
this
perfect
whole thing,
series.
yeah, this whole thing of like because I liked it in the beginning, even if it's shitty now, it's still perfect. And I'm just like, come on, bro. Like I can't debate that type of thing if you're unwilling to see the flaws.
This is what I keep finding, and it annoys me. But I also understand what I feel like the people that like My Hero the most are people that watch the shit ton of anime. And what happens is because they tired of seeing all the tropes, when this nigga bullshit subjects or subverts a trope, they like, oh, it's goaded. When I'm like, bro, subverting the the traitor trope,
Right.
it didn't work. It was lame. It was a flop. He should have just stuck with the trope if he was gonna do this. And there are people that are like, nah, every time my hero subverts some trope, fire. It's the greatest. I'm like,
Right.
you just tired of anime, bro. Take a break, watch
I'm
something
telling
else.
you. Like the Bible moment was great, but once again, nothing I've read in My Hero has been as beautifully written as Lumillian's progression. The rise and fall of Lumillion, I have not seen anything written as well as that in the My Hero storyline yet. I,
Power.
yeah, nothing has gotten better. So I'm just like, okay, I get the feels are there. I appreciate it from time to time. I'm not gonna get mad at that, but the villains to me are hidden. Every time I see the heroes or they talk about the heroes, I end up just being like bored and like, what the fuck are they doing?
Yeah,
Who knows?
pretty much just waiting for the war to pick back up and just to see these final fights to see how they actually play out. To be honest.
Right. All right. On to MVPs and Goofies.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna kick mine off since we already talked about My Hero. Goofies is going to all my other pro heroes, bro. That plan was fucking stupid. Like, what the hell was
Too
that?
many goofies of
I
them.
was like, what are y'all doing? What are y'all doing? So yeah, they goofy. MVP is going to Ranking the Kings for me. I've been watching that shit in and out dubbed on Funimation. They're not finished yet, but that shit is a sleeper for real. Like that might have got most slept on. Shoot, might have even got Anime of the Year once I get to this end. It's pretty close to me as far as just like a solid show. I'm enjoying the fuck out of it. I mean, it hit me in the feels the first couple episodes, but it is really good. It's really interesting. So that's mine.
Nice. Do they throw any hands?
Yeah, they do.
Oh, I didn't
They
know
do.
that.
I would say it's more like adventure with action elements than it is
That's been big
action.
recently. That's
Yeah.
been real big recently.
Yeah.
Adventure. You wanna go?
Yeah, I'll just take it over real quick. My MVP is going to be Megumi from Jujutsu Kaisen. The strap fight that he had with the ticket buddy. I actually really liked it. I thought it showed
Reggie.
That's right. His name actually is Reggie. I keep forgetting that. That's so weird. Anyways, well, whatever. But no, I thought they showed off his power progression, strat progression pretty well as just far as Megumi as a character in his battle, like just battle prowess all in general. So I definitely got to give him big ups for it. He's really starting to showing why he's definitely like a big hitter now. So gotta give him some big ups for that. And then also from Jujutsu Kaisen for a goofy effing the comedian buddy, his Takaba, who was just effing like At first, I really liked him. I low key did like him as far as the whole, he's just a sarcastic, a-hole that's low key a G. Like I'm about that kind of character show. But at the very end, at the last chapter, you find out that they actually noted in the manga
that shit was hilarious.
that his ability rivals Gojo.
Yeah, it works against Gojo's, and it's so he's like a Joko type of character to give you some context. Player 5, he does those like lame anime jokes that nobody laughs at, but he finds is funny. So he's that character, but his curse ability is that whatever he imagines is funny can become reality. Yeah. And they know, and he doesn't know how his shit works, but they noticed that his shit works on Gojo. So they said even if he was up against Gojo, his shit will work. If he imagines some funny shit, that shit will work against that nigga. And they just left it at that.
And they just gonna leave it there. Like they literally just introduced the character to rival Gojo just to do it. I'm just like, I can't with y'all, bro. Like, are you kidding me, dude?
Yeah,
I actually really like this guy, and it was just like, nope, I'm done.
Right.
So he's a literal Goofy, unlike multiple ways. So it's crazy.
Well, MVP, I'm gonna give it to Platinum End.
Ooh, how good!
I've been taking some time on it, and I just decided to watch it. I think that if you produce a good manga, you deserve to have somebody at least try your second one. Most
100%.
niggas flop. This one decent. Will it be as good as Death Note? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
It's not going to hit them levels.
How many episodes they got dubbed so far? Because I've seen the beginning of it, but I didn't.
9.
Okay, so I might be able to get back into
maybe
it.
like 13 episodes total, something like that.
Okay.
Maybe I might be thinking maybe it's 6 instead of 9. But the moral of the story is that like, so even though the premise is way different than Death Note, like I can just write your name and you die, it's really the same because like they don't write your name, they fly around and they hit you with arrows. But if you get hit with the arrow, you're done. Either A, you fell in love with this person and do whatever they want, or B, you're actually dead. So it's like it really does become a big strategy fight. Like I seen. They use strategies, and they be like legit strategies, not that.
Here we go. I knew you was gonna say it.
That's why my Goofy is who my Goofy is, because I watch Platinum Men where they are using real strategies that like, this works for the physics of the world. Everything is making sense. No bullshit was made. They just outsmarted a nigga. Then you get to motherfucking my Goofy of the year, Jolene Cujo.
Hey, strings!
Like, yo,
you don't like the strings?
I got these straps. But what straps, Jolene? The straps. But what are you doing? Strategizing.
Did you finish the first season? I mean, her season? The first half? You didn't get to that part yet?
I think it was like 6 episodes. Dude.
Oh, she got more coming.
Bruh.
Not in a good way.
And I was like, what?
Did you see the where they fought the water homie or whatever? The dude that needed water?
Wait, the dude that
one that ended up
into
doing
water?
Yeah, the one that
the last episode I saw is they just got pulled into the swamp. And whatever girl just got pulled in the swamp.
Oh, okay.
Hey, this is somebody's stand. It's a bunch of small niggas. That's all I know about it.
Got you. Okay.
But I suspected some BS to happen because I was like,
I mean, it's JoJo.
how is she getting out of this?
It's JoJo.
I used my thread to make a superhero sun.
I can't wait. I think you're actually going to implode. If you keep watching it, they get to a part where they actually like are fighting in a vacuum. Mm-hmm. Like, and she has to strand her way out of that vacuum. I'm just very curious as how you're going to break down the ass pull strats that they used to get out of that vacuum. Because it is very... I was like, as I was watching, I was like, I would low-key wish Player 5 was here to tell me how actually accurate some of the shit they do it is. Because they was in a vacuum. This nigga had the ability to reverse niggas' gravity, and he basically, like, somehow finessed them into a vacuum.
Mm. Okay. I'm going to check it out and tell you what I think. Right now, based on what I've seen out of them, I am not impressed by their strategies. Especially when I'm actually watching strategic anime right before it. Like it just makes it even worse.
So you got through Golden Wind, right? So like comparable to that, is this better or
I like
worse?
Golden Wind strats better.
Okay.
Like there was a lot of ass pulling, but there would be times where I'm like, okay, that was a legitimate strategy, or that was just a neat way to use the power that's already established. This one just be like, she like, nah, I'm not establishing what I can do because I know I'm about to bullshit. You feel me? Like
here's
that's
what
how
I
feel like they're going.
here's what I had. You did open my eyes to the ass pulliness, and it shows up in Jolene too. Because it was one of the moments like when I saw it, I was like, okay, I see why he says this isn't stress. There was this little boy that you met the little boy, right?
Little homie.
He gonna like say some shit about you're like, bro, you lived in this jail your entire life. There's no way you know how this works in the way that you're expressing it. He like I forget what it was, but I think he might have been talking about the atmosphere or some shit like that. But he knew like intricate details that I'm like, nigga, you were born in a jail.
Are you talking about when like the sniper nigga was out there?
And what did he say then?
Because I know the sniper nigga shit had to do with atmosphere and like the particles moving around so that he could shoot you.
It might have been that, but I think it was after that. Basically, she's gonna be running up the stairs or something, and he gonna stop her and say some shit. Whenever that happens, whatever comes out of his mouth, I'm like, there's no way a kid who was born into prison knows this information.
Yeah, it's a lot of BS for sure.
They know a lot about the world. That's all I'll say. Like JoJo Stan should have a degree in like astrophysics or whatever because they just know how shit works intricately.
They be like, whoa, this stand is reading the particles of the. I'm like, bro, what the fuck? Nigga, ain't you a fella? I've been locked up in this.
Yeah, I did a lot of reading, nigga. I did a lot of reading.
Is this what they think American prison is like?
That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. All right, I'm gonna get on Platinum Man though. But yeah, I'm waiting for you to meet Weather Forecast. When you meet Weather Forecast, I'm interested to hear your thoughts, which is towards the end of it, in the vacuum shit.
Got you.
Yeah.
I'll keep up.
All right. So I guess that's it for this episode. We will catch y'all in the next one. I think that's it. Peace.
Until next time. Silly gooses.